I can make a phone call. And I forgot right before I pressed live that I need to make a phone call. But I pressed live, so let's do it, y'all. So of course, I just woke up from a little light nap, and y'all, when I tell you, we have been so busy this week. Of course, prepping myself for the new task and things that I am, reestablishing and or doing with you all. So I do want to say this, honey. Shout out to those of you who actually reached out to me thus far about the new things that we've been offering, like the 30-day manifestation. I believe there was only like one or two people that actually joined that. And of course, that's okay. Things are shifting, y'all. And of course, I had a conversation with this about this to one of my people because well, let me see. What does this say? Okay. Credit Karma is saying congratulations on opening your oldest credit card earlier than others your age. Your oldest card has been open longer than the average person in your age group. Come on, baby. Hello. I'm a trendsetter. But anyway, let me get up off that. And so, yeah, you guys, so we've been doing a lot, preparing for a lot. I've been putting myself on a schedule and, just we're, getting into some energies. And of course, I would say, time to time, you guys, like I would throw in little deals and stuff because of course, I want to be easily accessible when it comes to people getting work done because I know that everybody does not have it, especially all the time to invest in themselves on certain levels. And so, of course, I wanted to offer things at at different levels for different folks, but I don't want to like downplay the people who want to invest in themselves and they're getting the bare minimum, and then vice versa. I don't want people who could barely invest in themselves to get the same, and I'm not gonna say equal, but the same amount of energy and or treatment as those who are like, listen, I want to take this serious, because of course we did do the personal one-on-one thing, I think before the 30 days of manifestation even got posted, and we were working with groups of people on YouTube and off of YouTube. And of course, you guys, I didn't know that was going to take up a lot of time. And I love that, by the way. But of course, it cut into like me, like, getting on YouTube, me doing other things I wanted to do with y'all, which of course, it's okay because, like I said, I'm here to offer services. And when they're booked, they're booked, and that makes me booked and busy. And of course, that's what pay my bills. That's what, allow me to have my life and do what it is that I want to do. So either way, I'm coming out, y'all, and this is going to be established, and it's going to be personal, right? I mean, not personal. It's going to be established, and this is going to be permanent. There are going to be levels to getting work done with me. I'm even coming out with something that's like subscription based. We talked about the 24-hour webcam access. And of course, there are times that we will have downtime and stuff, and I will, add you to that mailing list. And of course, you'll get alerts and all that. If I do have your number, you have my number. Of course, I'll send out texts saying, systems will be down between this time and this time, blah, 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 whatever. Because, of course, I also utilize these exact same cameras to even show, some of my customers their work, while it's been done. 'Cause sometimes they want to be involved in it. And so why not? This is an interactive way of getting work done. I don't think there's any other spirituals out there that do anything like this, y'all. And of course, we've been offering this since 2018, 2019. But of course, I would do it for a couple of months, a couple of weeks, and then, people start booking certain workings that need to be private. And I'm like, ooh, how am I going to do this? So I was even getting like multiple areas, set up multiple areas to do work. And it was becoming just, oh, so stressful to me. So either way, y'all, um, either way, there's going to be different levels to this, different sides of me. And of course, that's just that. And like I said, going into the subscription based thing, we're going to be doing certain type of content. And of course, um, there's other platforms you can utilize for the subscription based blah 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 blah. But I'm like, I don't know. Either way, YouTube would still be the main one if I decide to do that. But also you can offer like subscription based stuff through YouTube as well. So I'm like, it's definitely gonna be here. And like I said, you'll get access to different things like behind the scenes to ghost, adventures, going into sightseeing. There's something that I got on, you guys. It's been I think 3 months now that kind of blowed my mind, and I was gonna like make content sharing this app, but I'm like, first of all, I'm not promoting this app. Second of all, I don't want that to be my only thing because I feel like people's attention spans are so small that if you're doing content on this, get a good example, missing people, right? And then I'll do like a video on, what happened and what I'm feeling energetically in a situation. People will think that that's the only work I do. They will not think that I do readings anymore. They do not think I do casework anymore. I had somebody I did work with for a long time up until like 2021. And they were emailing me every so often, like, do you still do spiritual work? And I'm just like, I mean, the videos on my page, we're kind of still there. I don't feel like I have to show rituals and stuff for people to know if I still do work or not. Unless you found a video that states that I don't do work anymore, I don't offer spiritual work. It's like, why would people think that? But like I said, I think attention spans are so small, that that's what they see. They're like, wait, so you don't do spiritual work no more? You just do, commentary, or you do missing people cases and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I love doing energetic work. That's my main thing, honey. Okay, hello. I love casting spells and sending energy and manipulating energy, honey. That's my favorite thing to do. Okay. Teaching, of course, is another. Of course, readings is another as well. But my number one passion, my number one thing, I love manipulating energies. And we're not talking about people, because of course, this is where people get a little tricky, icky dicky. When they be like, well, I told you the bitch, the motherfucking narcissist, psychologist, therapist, counselor, and baby, no narcissism here, no medication for anything, bipolar, schizophrenia, depression, or any of that, baby, by the way. And I have regular sessions on that, by the way, because sometimes, you do think you're kind of losing your mind because you want to just go up and tell somebody off and say, fuck you, hoe, and your mama too. But then you say, damn it, would I be off the hinges if I do that? Would they call the police and say 5150? And so you have to have a session with your therapist, say, I was minding my business and this lady just came up and she snatched the fucking grapes out my hand as if that was the only fucking bag there. And I, like, for a split second, I almost uppercutted her ass, but I caught myself, And so, your therapy session will say, no, yes or no, whatever. And so I learned, and that's not always the reaction either. I don't think the uppercut people, they do shit like that. Just one time that did happen, or somebody took something out my shopping cart. I drove way over there just to get that. They decided to pull it out my shopping cart, and I'm watching them do it, and the bitch lied straight to my face and said, "I didn't get that out your shopping cart. Where did you get that at then, ma'am? Because that's my cart right there. And I saw your nasty ass, creepy ass motherfucking COVID infested covered hands touching in my motherfucking cart. And you got that out of there. Where'd you get it at then, ma'am? Better yet, call Jim from the back, because Jim was the one that gave me that. You know, and in that split second, she almost got laid the fuck out, respectfully. Whoa, let me calm myself down. She almost got laid out, y'all. No lie, no lie, no lie. And I said, I got to book a therapy session right now because I might be going to jail. I might be going to jail. I'm going to have to lay this lady out. But anyway, and I'm not a violent person, y'all. I'm a lover, not a fighter. Ask, family and friends. If I fight, that means you push into the limit. And if I get into that mode, girl, I don't remember shit. I black out. Everybody can get it. Hello! Okay, boy, girl, black, white, femme queen, butch queen. I don't give a fuck, girl. You all can catch these motherfucking hands. And that's why I say I don't fight, girl. I don't fight because of that. Girl, I lose it. I don't know what I'm doing. I just go, anyway. And so, anywho, getting back on it. And so like I said, I love energy. I love, shifting energy. I love getting in there and, getting energy up out the way. Cause everything's about energy, girl. You show up to a place and you're here to have an appointment and they cock block the appointment. I give y'all a good example. I had a nail appointment and my nail tech, I've been going to him for a couple of years now. And he doesn't like for me to be past 15 minutes late. But you guys, when it comes to certain stuff, I'm not punctual. When it comes to certain things, I am very punctual. When it comes to other stuff, I'm not punctual. That's just that. I've never been, girl. Hello. I was late when I was in school. When I used to go to high school, I was in high school, middle school. Bitch, I missed the bus so many times, girl, to get rides and or to not go to school because I was just fucking late. And I woke up on time, but you know what I mean? And so either way, I arrived, I think it was like 17 minutes late. Mind y'all, I was waiting at an appointment one time for almost 40 minutes over my time, meaning they booked an appointment for me and I'm there for 30 to 40 minutes because he's finishing up somebody else's nails. I didn't complain about it. He still got his tip and everything. And so I showed up that one time and he was like, And like I said, I looked at the clock and girl, it was like 17 minutes past my time. Normally like 15, okay, girl, he let me. But he was like, So I knew he was pissed off that day. Cause he have a nasty ass baby mama that be doing some weird shit, girl. Y'all think black people got drama, girl? No, these Vietnamese, they be having drama. Okay, hello. And so, honey, she put him in a mood that day. And I said, girl, so I show up and he said, no, not today. And I'm pissed because I'm thinking like, damn, like I could have slept in. I could have, you know, did my trip to Costco. I could have did whatever it is I had to do. But because I'm 17 minutes late, because it's not easy getting up over here because motherfucking traffic any damn way. And mind you, I'm spending money with you. You're not spending money with me, babe. You know what I mean? I'm spending money to get in the car. I'm spending money to get there. Like, girl, you're getting a tip. So, bitch, excuse me, ma'am, okay, or sir, whatever, madam, sir, whatever. And so he walked me on out. So I get in my car, y'all, and I was about to drive off. And I said, no, I was feeling some type of way. I said, no. Mm-mm. And of course, for layman purposes and to confirm that I am, mentally stable and, I am in reality. I'm not, elucid or any of that, on any type of drugs that cause me to be delusional in any way, shape, or form. Let's say for a good example, it was not a magical thing that happened. Maybe he saw me get in my car. He saw how my energy was. No, let's get out of that. Maybe he saw me get in my car and he thought that maybe this black bitch is gonna ram her vehicle into my building. Let me call. I don't know. It could be anything. Okay, let's just say layman terms. It could have been anything, girl. Maybe he. I don't know. Maybe he was thinking about the tip. I don't know. But anyway, so I get in my car, I leave out the parking lot, y'all, and I get to this four-way stop sign, and I was like, you know what? This motherfucker want to play with my money, want to play with my time. He want to play. He want to play in my face, baby. Listen, I'm about to call this place. No, first I was like, I'm gonna give a cute review and say, bitch, love the place, but I don't like how the energy is not being reciprocated. You could, I could show up to my appointment on time and I'm waiting 30 or 40 minutes and then I do one time 2 minutes over and girl, you're like, you can't come. And bitch, I drove all the way, girl. I flew, y'all. I was way in a whole nother motherfucking town. I flew. When I say I flew, girl, I was going 100 miles per hour on the freeway, and the speed limit is nowhere near that, girl. I was going 40 something miles over the speed limit. Hello, the fuck. And so anyway, I get ready to call him, after I'm just in my prayer, girl. I'm just in this moment. Like, this motherfucker's about to get cussed out. And, I'm talking myself out of it, y'all. You know what I mean? Like, write this review. I'm about to let him have it. And boo, 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 boo. And I'm just like running myself through the gameplay and shit of how I'm going to post this review and shit. Like, okay, you're going to say this. You're going to say that. You're going to show proof that you've been coming to him for years. Blah, 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 blah. And then just right there in that moment, pick up this phone, y'all, and it could have been about a good 15, 20 minutes. Get ready to pick up that phone and call. and the phone shows his caller ID pop up on the phone. And of course, I'm like, hello? And he's like, yeah, I just want to apologize. And I was like, I know, because I was just about to like call right now and say, what the hell's going on? Because blue, blue, blue. And then, of course, he's like, yeah, this happened and that happened and this and that. And then, of course, there was two cancellations and blah, 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 blah. And this, and boo. So if you still want to come back today, I could see you in about 2 or 3 hours. If not, then we can stick to the 2 or 3 days, because that's what he said. I'll have to call back, when I get time to schedule it. And so I ended up telling him, baby, I could do 2 to 3 hours. We ended up moving it down to an hour. So I ended up waiting like probably 2 hours. But either way, I got it done. And so I was like, honey, energy shifts, honey. Okay. And that's what I was like, honey, energy is shifting. But anyway, that's what I love doing, y'all. I love shifting energy. I love getting results, yielding results and stuff. And so, of course, like I said, I want to offer some things to you all, because that's another thing too. I think people get I'm not gonna say sensitive. I think we are in a sensitive world right now where people don't like honesty and people don't like directness. I said this before. People like you to pussyfoot. They want you to indirectly. They want you to lie. They want you to be sick as hell, big as hell, and over here telling them to change their life and eat right and get their life together. They want you to be bony and scony and looking like you sick and telling you that that you vegan and plant based, and look like you're about to croak over and die any motherfucking second because you lacking vitamins and nutrients to be a fucking productive human being. Like that's what society like. Society like for you to just lie straight to their face and just be indirect, girl. And so, of course, catching tea and seeing tea, where girls be out there talking about how they get the work done and they do magical stuff, and their magic is this or their magic is that, and they be sitting here, girl, ain't got no pot to piss in a window throw it out of, ain't got no proof that they can get a man, keep a man, lock a man down. Same shit I would say. And so I'd be like, people be liking that shit though. People be liking to see clowns and shit, entertain people. And even going to the sense of me not getting on camera, y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. And we're gonna be honest, we haven't really talked about this before, but I'm gonna be quite honest with y'all, because this kind of like ruffled my feathers. And I can be honest with y'all about this, because I don't really care about if people think anything about me when I say what I say, you know what I mean? Because it is what it is, girl. And so just thinking about it, y'all, for some time, I think there was a period of me not getting on YouTube for like almost a year. And people are like asking me, like, what happened to you? You haven't been on. And they thought people, ran me off, as they always do, girl. Just like when I used to get on this one platform, girl, these girls out here doing some weird ass predatorial shit. And when I stopped fucking with them, guys were like, I heard the girls ran you off this app or whatever. And I'm just like, girl, what girls? People that ain't got no mama, no daddy in their life? What girls? People that are running from the police and the IRS? Like, what girls are getting me off an app and they're running? They don't even have nothing in their name, so you can't find them. So what girls are running me off the platform? Let this be known. Of course, he wouldn't say it. And so anyway, going into this, people were kind of thinking that too. Like, damn, with that, basic ass witch crew and these degenerate ass witches, girl, you just kind of like vanish. And so what on? Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. Let me tell you what it is. If y'all remember, maybe y'all don't remember, because this has been like almost like 10 years ago now, and it's so crazy how time has really flew. Like, girl, I've been living my life, doing my thing, being me, doing my girl. Listen, we've accomplished some goals. We beat some like, girl, when I tell you, bitch, looking back and seeing life in a 360, it's like, damn, honey. Like, the universe is really amazing, and your ancestors, my ancestors are really amazing. And so I've been really living it up, living it. And of course, doing it the best, best way I could. And so either way, you saw these people, and it kind of reminded me of something that I saw with someone where they were saying that they kept calling this person ugly, and they kept calling this person weird looking, and they were like, don't put your black magic on me. And this person don't even do magic like that. And what I was seeing was right in front of me was this group of black women, separate but together, because we had that homeless uh schizophrenic, drug addict that her brain got fucked up somehow, some way, eating raw meat and shit in LA, girl, homeless in LA, girl. Y'all remember that girl? Girl with the fried up ass dreadlocks and shit. It's like, how do your dreadlocks look like hot Cheetos and dried up and fucked up and shit, girl? Make it make sense. And you're a woman too, girl. And you don't have kids. So, girl, your lutein and all that stuff, your FSC and all that, girl, it should be good, girl. Pop you some prenatals, girl. Lather up on some water, because they said raw diet is better than anything, girl. I didn't see it with that girl. From the nails to the motherfucking head, girl. The only thing I was popping was the skin, but I think it's because she's mixed. Hello. But anyway, so you had her group, her by herself reading tarot on a cell phone and shit. Y'all remember her. And then living in her car and shit, girl, shopping at Dollar Trees and all that, girl. Huh. Anyway, bitch could never. And then you have this other basic ass group. You had like this Tu Wong Fu community. It was like so confusing. I think only one of them looked like a woman. The rest of them looked like studs and butches and shit. But they swore up and down there like men and shit. And then the other had this clown, drag queen, transvestite, transgender, whatever the hell they called themselves. A tranny drag queen transgender. I don't know what the fuck he called himself, looking like Jigsaw. And then you have the now to call Mia he and shit like, girl, girl, your ID still says male, sis. You could never give a story or show a medical paper of you walking into a facility to get hormones from a doctor and they turn you away because they think that you're a cisgender woman pretending to be a transgender just to take pills. You will never have that experience. And that's not only happened to me one time, that happened to me several times. Not just one time. Documented as well, by the way, because of course, when you go on with your insurance and they decline you or whatever, girl, they have to give a paper a reason why they declined you. Okay, so let's get into it. To where I was even asked if we could step in the back so they could see my genitalia. So you'll never have that experience, Miss Vashanti. I don't know what he's still doing now, but you'll never have that experience, huh? So you had that little group. Then you had Nemal Gimal, you know, Hobby Lobby. So that's already three groups. Then you had also this pallbearer Egyptian energy girl. Girl. Y'all know who she is, girl. We'll need to drop on this, girl. We can just say who she girl. Paul Bear working in the mortuary and shit, girl. And now she's showing y'all how to get your poom pooms golden and shit. And then you had out of nowhere these raisin and sourpuss, a knockoff of 227. That's what it was giving. It was giving a knockoff 227. You really gonna ask me, girl? It was giving me the episode where Countess Vaughn was on that show, and she was the I think she was the neighbor. She was the annoying little chubby neighbor that came over and knocked on that door, and then you had Jackie. So girl, they were giving like that knockoff 227 vibe. Girl, we don't need to get into that either, but y'all know who the fuck I'm talking about. Giving their opinions, and I don't even think she really do magic. I'm just like, girl, what's going on here, girl? Two single ass women that got children and ain't got no man to help you raise. And these are boys in his house too, in these homes too. And allegedly, the leaders that y'all like say that if y'all don't have a man in the household, that your sons are going to grow up to be homosexuals. But I don't think your sons are going to grow up to be homosexuals, because studies have also shown that children that grow up in a gay household tend to be more straight than people who are born in a straight household. They were saying that there's more gay people born to straight households than are gay people born to gay households. Get into that tea. And so I don't think their sons are going to, they don't have to worry about their sons being closeted homosexual or any of that, because they're two lesbians. And so the sons, they want to be like their parents. So they're gonna be out here licking and tucking and whooping and upping on shit too. And so you have that. So there was like 5 different tribes of, oh shit, I forgot about the piglet bitch. High Priestess Pigster, girl. So there's like 6 different tribes, girl, just coming at me, girl. I felt like Queen of the Damned, girl. I felt like Akasha Queen of the Damned. They were coming from the Queen Vampire. I was like, ah! They were just waiting to devour me, girl. They wanted to devour me, girl. One of the girls so devouring, girl. She was over here watching my cam shows and shit, girl, trying to get her rocks off for shit. Nasty ass bitch. Talk about she bisexual too. Of course you bi. When you're looking ugly like that, bitch, you gotta accept any and everything. Ah! Anyway, just disgusting, girl. I just got a whiff. I thought I smelled piss for a minute, honey. That's my Hawaiian breeze and dragon fruit candle going. Thought I got a whiff of like piss pee or pig pee or something. But anyway, so you had all these little things coming at me, girl, coming on, talk about I could just go and go and go, and that's the testosterone in me that just had me going and going and going and going and going. Um, they would even like put on these synthetic wigs and try to imitate me. Y'all have not worn synthetic wig in such a long time. You get a human hair wig for like $200. Synthetic wigs are like $50, $60. So why get a synthetic wig that's gonna last you for like 2 or 3 months when you get a human hair wig, pay twice as much, and it's gonna last you for 2 to 3 years, maybe even 5 years, depends on how you take care of it. And so, girl, they were just coming for me. And then all of a sudden, girl, something pop up, and of course, they're going to say they're channeling energy. And there's no way that, these nasty ass bitches could channel this type of goddess energy. It got them through a little bit because, of course, it takes a wankster to know a wankster, meaning that their followers are nothing but hoes that think they're gods and goddesses. Kind of like what they say, power to the gods and shit. This conscious community bullshit, girl, and ain't nobody winning. People still in fucking death row. People still on child support. People still kicked out. Can't get no loan. Can't get no mortgage loan. Girl, they start doing PPP loans. Fraud, girl. Hello. Which, by the way, they cracking down on that shit too, girl. Keep checking those lists out there, y'all, too. A bitch out here doing magic and shit. Okay. But anyway, and so, girl, I get this little clip thing, and girl, they were channeling the mother. I was like, no, this bitch does not got her eyebrows done. She's wearing some lashes with a platinum bond wig. Then they even had acrylics on in blue. And y'all know me, girl. I'm the blue purple queen, girl. The fuck? I'm the bitch that rock blue lipstick, blue eyeshadow for years. That's me because I'm a cool tone, brown skinned girl. Okay. And so blue looks good on me, honey. Dark blue and light blue. And so I saw this and I was like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden, y'all notice this too. When they started leveling up to be like mother, they start blowing up. You notice the review the things used to be a little boring, and then somebody threatened to take their ass to this one in particular. They threatened to take her ass to motherfucking court because she was doing defamation and slandering. And she started singing a whole nother thing, talking about she's an Afro Satanist shit, girl. Why can't you not work on these bitches? Because that bitch who said she was going to do that don't do magic, clearly. When we get into spiritual warfare, so we don't have to get our hands dirty. When you have to say that you're getting into the law of the land, that means you're stepping out of the law of the spirit. And so no real spiritualist is going to sit here and tell you that they're taking you to court or they're suing you or they're pressing charges if they're about that life. Because see, my spirit is going to get to you quicker than the justice system is. And you might just be the one that be on what they say, not the concession, what they call that, the testimony stand, what they call that stand where they testify at. And you get up there, girl, now you can't speak. All of a sudden you're just, right. Uh-huh. And so that's where it's like, girl, put your magic where your mouth is. Even into the point to where they be out here showing these girls, and I told y'all, we showed this as a sex worker. I came on and I, talked about my sex working industry life because I wanted to show the world that, baby, I was attracting a T without even sleeping with these people. I was a sex worker without sleeping with my clients. And I was having people just throwing it, spending it. And so that's why I came public with that, to show you what it's like to really be under some type of glamour, to be really in some type of tea, because that's really what all these hoes is doing. You're doing work to keep a man. That's basic ass pigeonry. What did the girl say? Homo bitch magic? That's pigeon magic. What that song? I don't want no pigeon. A pigeon is what's that song called? Hold on, let me see if I can get it really quickly. And so with that being said, honey, that's pigeon magic. We're not looping in a man. We're not tying in a man with magic who don't want us. That has to be a fucked up ass feeling, y'all. Just step back for that. Let's give a moment of recognition right here and clarity right here. Imagine you walking into a room and a man sees you And he rolls his eyes because he's like, oh, I can tell this bitch poom poom ain't good. I can tell her mouth ain't good. She don't know how to cook, clearly. Because if you know how to cook and you got good sex, you can get and keep a man. If you know how to cook and give good sex, you know how to keep a man, baby. Because I would say clean, but a lot of men, they do dirty ass women too, honey. I've seen some video footages of women, men on dirty ass beds and shit. So that ain't stopping them from catching a T. But I'm just saying. So you have to put a glamour spell on him because the poom poom ain't good and the food ain't good. Just take a cooking class. Just learn how to work your set, sis. And that's how you get this man. And so there's people dedicating their work to that, y'all. And they were just like, to girl, just we're here. If you want to get this man ain't budging, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, what? And then on the flip side to that, they were coming for me, saying that I was like a sex worker. But I'm like, that's what you guys are too, though, technically, because you're binding a man. I'm binding a man to get his money. You know, I'm showing him the goods and working the set to get that money. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't doing this shit to get a man and to lock a man in. You know what I mean? Like that. You know what I mean? And you're doing it to lock the man in. And so that has to feel like horrible on the inside. And I would even think that too, having a baby with a man. And the man don't really, don't really want you. I mean, that would be just disgusting for me. I mean, I wouldn't even know what to do with myself, honey. If I was this banging ass bitch, or at least I thought I was, and this man, gives me a baby, and now he's calling me the ugliest thing and this and that. I mean, I would be upset too about a nigga that think he look better than me. And of course, I never said I look better than any of these girls because you don't compete where you don't compare. We're not in the same area. We're not in the same caliber. So I would never see me as a threat to any of these black spirituals that ever came for me on YouTube or off of YouTube. We're not in the same arena, babe, at all. I wouldn't want the man that you have. Trust me when I tell you that. I can bet my top dollar and your top dollar on that. I wouldn't want none of y'all husbands, none of y'all baby daddies, because if they settle for that, oh girl, they easy. I don't do easy men. Friends can let you know that. That's a turn off for me. I don't care how good you look, how much money you got. If it's not a business type of thing and you're easy, bye-bye. You're not calling my personal number, girl. You're getting that Google voice. Hello. You're not calling my main line, babe. You're not coming to my house neither because you're a low-hanging fruit and everybody can take a bite out of it. I don't like that, honey. I'm exclusive, so I need you to be exclusive too, babe. But either way, that's what they were doing. And so it kind of made me feel some type of way where I was like, damn, so they want to be like me. So imagine everybody concocting fake interviews, fake reviews, fake commentary, doing fake videos. Just say we gotta take this motherfucker down. Just to then in reality, just bite my style. In reality, now you have and y'all can look at the videos, baby. Y'all can look at the videos, regardless of what it's giving. They were not wearing acrylic nails. All of them had bare ass, clear. Maybe one of them had white tips on their nails. They weren't doing no stiletto nails. They weren't doing no color nails. They weren't doing no lipstick, girl. They were looking tired and through. They were getting on camera with head wraps on, no hair on their head, looking beat up as fuck, like those kids are wearing their asses out. Hello? And then they watch me and they study me, because that's what they do. And that's the only reason why I said, like, girl, no, we're not getting up, but we're not showing the outfit of the day. We're not getting on here. We're not doing, when I do start getting on camera, don't be surprised if I keep getting on with the same shit. Because girls be trying to bite the fuck out of you. You're boring, you're basic, you're a man, you're never going to be a woman, but they really bite you. Like, oh my God, this bitch is so boring. Oh, I don't see nothing magical about this bitch. And all of a sudden, you're doing what I'm doing. And that'd be another thing, too, where I keep telling her, too. Stop getting caught up in the theatrics of it all. See, when you're getting down to the work, the nitty gritty of the work, when you're getting down to the nitty gritty of the frequencies, you're not sitting here and you're not showing, because those are called props. That's what Hollywood does. When you step into, let me give you a good example. Let me give you a good example. An in-person client. Go to this in-person client and You could not tell what they were. You can tell they were Catholic, they were Christian, they were Buddhist, they were Muslim. You cannot tell. And so either way, you go in and you don't see anything. Everything is so subtle. But as you're here talking, and they're like, do you know what that symbol is? Everything in their house are symbolic. So, do you know what this stands for? This stands for this and that. And I won't get into what they were getting and stuff neither, because of course people, But I was like, what? I would have never thought about that. And even going into like one of their rooms, they have this little corner with a few pieces of magical tools where it was like, damn, basic, simple, and they've manifested. They went from being homeless, and I believe, now don't quote me because they said they were going to be coming through, because they ended up finding my YouTube channel. They were going to come back and they were going to comment on something. They were going to be commenting on something, honey. I don't know if they did that or not, because I don't get all my notifications. But, and this was like maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. But they went from being homeless to manifesting all this shit within 18 months. And so, symbolism. When people get into that prop shit, and in their background there's like an altar and they're always working on, there's an altar here. And it's like, girl, unless you are like exclusive to me, meaning like we've built some type of connection with each other. Hell, maybe we've gone to the subscription only thing, stuff like that. I could share that stuff there. Here in the open, you never know who comes across that shit. And God forbid you live somewhere in the South, because there are cases where people have alleged that magic was being worked against them, and they had enough evidence to where the people were possibly doing physical things, and that got these spiritual people locked up. So you have to be very mindful on top of that, not even from the spiritual perspective, but what do you show spiritually? Even going into people being investigated. There was a whole group over there in Las Vegas. Honey. And they were trying to get me to go see them so bad. They were like, come out and see us. Come out and see us. You will love it here. You will love it here. You will love it here. And it was giving me like a whole farm or something, girl. I don't know. But long story short, that's what happened. There was like allegations of like trafficking and like animals and like animal abuse and animal cruelty. And I'm like, see, people get a little nasty with it. And so that's how I'm like, you cannot be showing shit like that. You cannot be showing like, this is what because people will say, wait a minute, is that really that? Or is that looks like a kid elbow. That looked like and now you're under investigation. And it's the investigation that you don't have to be under, but because you decided to show the world your dirty laundry, now they feel like they have a right to it. So this was, I'm very mindful. Even going into the ancient arts of being secretive, y'all, people were not really afraid of being found out of being spiritual. They were really afraid of having their work tainted. Marie Laveau was one of the most documented, one of the most documented spiritualists in America. Of course, she's, commercial, and that's why they talk about Marie Laveau a lot. But there was other people that were in the Americas that have done the same amount of work, if not better, with actual documentation, but they don't want to highlight the real stuff. So they talk about the commercial stuff where she was like friends with judges and stuff, and she got into connections with not higher end people, but you know what I mean? Like hierarchies. Like she was friends with like judges and lawyers and teachers and all this other stuff. So, she was able to promote her business through that. And even going into what kind of like got me together, because I was kind of trying to test. I was like, I like spicy food. Maybe I need to try to do a Marie Laveau style and put a hot pepper on my tongue and see if I can channel some shit like that too. Because I already love hot food, and maybe that's why I get all my channeling shit from now. Because, girl, I can eat a whole damn bag of hot cheese. Girl, I can eat some Carolina Reaper peppers. Hello! I can eat me some Carolina Reaper cheese. I can eat a habanero pepper. Hello? I can eat me some scorpion hot sauce. Baby, let's do it, okay? And so I'm like, maybe I need to take a pepper, bite that pepper, keep it on the tongue like she do, and say, yes, honey. She was talking in tongue, honey, because pepper was burning her up. And then she was doing the witchcraft and shit, allegedly. But of course, they were saying that it wasn't that. And so just like the Miss Cleo stuff, so you have some of these people that still follow Miss Cleo and stuff, even though Miss Cleo said herself that she wasn't real. But you still got people out there that, say shout out to Miss Cleo and shit. So they tell y'all to y'all face that they're not really spiritual. Miss Cleo says she was Jamaican. Some of these people say they're Jamaican. And I'm like, you're Jamaican by way of Alabama? Not saying it's not possible, but what they migrated in from Jamaica, went into Florida, decided to stay in Alabama. Is that how you became Jamaican? And couldn't speak no patois if you were paid $1,000 because you could barely speak English. Hello, you might be able to talk some Geech. Okay, you might be able to talk some Geech, girl, some broken Creole, honey. But girl, you can't get into the tea like that, girl, because that's not really your tea. And so you watch these people and you're just like, poor babies. People have really been led astray. And you think about that with a lot of these people too. But like people was really following like the polites and stuff. And it's like, where has this got you? The nature boy shit. It's like, what have this got y'all? Y'all all give homeless spirituality. Hobo spiritualists. That's what y'all give. Hobo spiritualists, girl. I just be like, what's going on, honey? Girl, another one too, girl. Mama act like she manifests through magic and shit. And it's like, it's public record, girl. Scammer. And we're not talking about scamming our clients, but we talk about putting houses and businesses and dead people's names and stuff, girl. That's some creepy shit, girl. And of course, some things are brought up, but not on them. It was brought up on their partner. But of course, what they say, they always try to act like they don't got their hands in on it. Cause I gotta look pretty. It's for my business. And I'm just like, girl, this is why I can't sit with y'all hoes. Don't make it seem like I can't sit with y'all because I can't. I can't sit with y'all because I don't want to. Which I want to be caught dead with y'all, honey. So when shit fall back on y'all motherfucking ass, girl, I didn't know those people like that. I knew of them. They fought with me, honey, but listen, girl, they couldn't keep no property. They were moving from house to house, business to business. And I'm just like, girl, like it takes a lot of shit to own a business, shit, and put into a business, girl. And so just shut shit down and move shit on like that. Ain't nobody that way but a scammer, girl. Scammers got all those LLCs and all this other shit, girl. Get property in this name, that name, girl. They got it. What they call it, unless you're S corp. I see if you were S corp, I can see you having like mama, grandma, auntie, and shit behind you, backing you up. But I'm like, damn, girl, like, what happened to just you and that? But anyway, off of that, the main thing here. Um, there's some new exciting stuff coming for y'all. Shout out to those of you who signed up for the camera, Spiritual Voyage, 24/7 webcam. As I said, we will be getting into that on the 21st. That's going to be our opening, what they say, cutting the scissors ceremony. I got something really, really big planned out for y'all. We've been prepping for this all year long. Of course, Monday, two people, I believe, maybe three people joined when we were doing that event for the birthday thing, because my birthday's next week. Yeah, shout out to my ending Gemini's, honey. Hello, how you doing? Okay. Those who their birthdays what from like the what 14th to the 21st. Shout out to y'all. Yes, honey. And so I will be announcing on Monday if it's going to be an in-person thing or a virtual thing, because I think the two or three people, they're all actually in California. So it'll be nothing for them to, make their way, to see me, honey. Okay, hello. And I think we're not too far in proximity to each other. And so, of course, if not, we could do a virtual thing, right? And of course, that'd be the 19th. That'd be like a that'd be Juneteenth. And then we'll do a pre 3 days before. What is that? Yeah, 3 days before is the 19th, right? 20, 21, 20, 19. Okay, it'll technically be the 18th. Okay, so the 18th, 3 days before. I'm thinking 3 days before the summer solstice. That'll be like a warm up for that. I don't know. I was like thinking the 19, 19, 20, 20. Yeah, no, honey, no. So it will be the 18th. So the 18th, we could do a little special little thing, honey, and celebrate that, open that up. And then on the 21st, that'll be a 3 day process. And then bam, we do the big, big one, honey. Duh. Yes, honey. And everything's about energy, charging up, clarifying, taking away and rebuilding. Can we talk about it? And so anyway, that's pretty much it, y'all. I need to make a phone call. Let me see who's up in here before I go. Was Maria a part of the Freemasons or Rosicrucians? Well, you know what? I was told that she was a part of a whole nother community because, the Freemasons and the Rosicrucians are always being discussed, but there's like 150 plus agents or agencies that have been around for a very long time, um, Jay, and people just always say, oh, they're Freemason, oh, they're Rosicrucian, but we have a lot, and I would say right now in everyday life, there's five secret societies that work in our face every day. And the only ones that we talk about are the Freemasons and the Rosicrucians. That's it. We don't mention any of the other three, but these five agencies or societies play in our face, not play in our face, but they do things in our face every day. We have a constant interaction with them. So that's why when people get into the whole thing about they're Freemasons and blah blah blah, I'm like, there's more to the story, Sloan Bella. There's more to the story, Jaguar Wright. Like there's more to the story with these people because it's not just that. Just like there's different types of allegedly aliens. There's just like there's different classifications of humans. You don't think that each group has its own organization to deal with each race of persons that's out there? You don't think there's a African secret society, a African American secret society, a white American secret society, a European secret society? You don't think that there's an Asian American secret society, a Korean American secret society, a Chinese? I mean, let's get into it. Like there is people NAACP, I think it's a part of some type of society or society of their own, where they manipulate and they play in y'all faces. People out here thinking that it's black people. That's why I got onto the people asses like Claude Anderson and all these other people that say black folks need to wake up. But it's the leaders that are misleading. See, it says, the Lord is my shepherd, and I shall not want. So if the shepherd is the one that is supposed to herd its sheep, oh, come on in here, and the herder or the shepherd is misguiding the sheep, then the sheep is going to continue to fail. And that's what's going on. See, the Asians, their leaders are stepping in and kicking doors down because they're not here to play. As I said before, and I'll continue to say, if there's any group out here that you need to be afraid of and you need to be worried about, it's Asian folks. Not black folks, not white folks, not Hispanic folks. I don't care what they say, how they say, baby, it's Asian. They got it on lock. The spiritual shit, the legal shit, the physical shit. They got that shit on lock. And anybody would tell you that who is, no matter what rank in the spirituality they're in, they're the ones that got it. Bitch, nobody else. Everybody else is trying to get it, but you're so far off the path. You're so far off. So I loved when the lady said that everybody want to be on that Hindu shit, not even knowing that the Yoruba shit has been whitewashed and tampered with like a lot of other shit. There are tribes in Africa that will never be open to white folks or anybody outside of other Africans coming into their society. Do you know they also practice magic? And so when I'm sitting here looking at your black ass or your white ass or your Hispanic ass, and you're talking about white folks always taking your shit and doing shit with it, but you're out here practicing the magic that they gave you, not no ancient shit. I'm looking at you like, damn, honey, so you're that far gone too? You're not enlightening people like me, girl, because I've been there, done that. I have books over here, baby, that teach you that I can tell you about your ancestry. I can tell you about who you are, and I never met you. And that's how deep that shit go. But you sit on here and you think because you learned some type of theology or you went to some type of school for anthropology or sociology, now you done got it down. And it's like, oh, it's all the blacks. You got to get it together because they're using melanin magic. Do you know that your melanin is tampered with? Do you know that the Negroes today does not have the pure melanin, the pure melanin gene that you once had? Do you know that? Because that true melanin gene help your hypothalamus. Do you know that your hypothalamus and your thalamus is not the same size as it was hundreds, if not thousands years ago? So that whole melanin stuff, honey, it only goes so far. But it still got you behind bars. It still got you in the system. It still got you needing child support. It still got you fighting and trying to get that EBT. It doesn't got you in no type of ranking, no type of hierarchy in the system. And so that's why I say these people playing our face. And I'm not talking to you people. I'm talking to the leaders that know this shit and keep playing out. Like, oh, girl, they just be playing with us. They be using our magic and shit. Well, show them how to use it then. Show them how to use it then. Stop spending your motherfucking free time on the motherfucking internet telling about the white folks and the Asian folks and the Hispanic folks. Tell them how they can use their power to get back where they need to get to. Because that's what we doing over here. But you hoes is fucking with their brain so much. I think that, well, I'm not going to go to this bitch because this bitch is self-hating. I'm not going to this bitch because this is a man that don't know he's a man. He think he's a motherfucking woman. Wrong. Wrong. That's why transgender is used, and you don't know what trans mean, bitch, and that's why you're confused. I'm not confused. You're confused. That's the difference. See, if I was delusional or confused, it'll be all woman pussied out, baby, and I wouldn't be talking about no tranny shit. And if, in fact, I'll be denouncing it if that was really the case. Bitch, see, like I said, y'all like people to pussyfoot you. You want me to come on with a dashiki or some dreadlocks so you can see my blackness, and then you said, "Oh, I could relate to what this person is saying." Or you want me to be a single mother with no man in the picture, talk about I'm a spiritual practitioner and I'm only without a man because I don't want one. But yeah, you're preaching the same shit about all these homosexuals are homosexuals. Want no dad in the picture, but your children ain't got their daddy neither. So what does that make your children? That's like dumb calling dumb dumber. Like that doesn't make sense. But like I said, they got Shaw under a spell. When they talk about they do glamour spells and stuff, I see the glamour spells because they got the whole internet under them. TikTok, YouTube, all of them. They got everyone doing stupid shit, not utilizing their power. Girl, you have people out there talking about they putting spells on Donald Trump shit. Girl, if y'all had that type of magic, trust me when I tell y'all this, America would be in a different energy right now. The magic ain't there. They were talking about the whole New Orleans thing in New Orleans and there's some magical town in Florida. It was giving me tourist guide to me. It was giving me New Orleans need people to come and visit them because the tourists is drying up over there. That's what it was giving me. They need people to go visit the French Quarters because they're not getting enough tourists and shit over there anymore. Because people done been there, done that, and they over it. And so it was giving me that, girl, we got to come up with these stories, make it seem like it's a magical experience so we can all book our trip to go to New Orleans. And you get there, you get nothing but get robbed and get kicked out of motherfucking stores and bars and shit. You're not going to have no damn motherfucking story like these people be having. But then I'm thinking to myself, too, if y'all are so magical out there, why is your government keeping niggas out of their areas? If y'all so magical over there in New Orleans and people could just touch your elbows in the French quarters and swap destinies with you, why can't y'all swap destinies with the plantations over there, the plantation owners that are white over there that own those plantations to get y'all plantations back? Cause some of y'all grandmamas and great grandmamas and stuff was on those plantations, right? Why can't y'all rub elbows with them to get that property back? Y'all should be the first ones out there, Louisiana, Mississippi, to get your reparations. Y'all should be leading by example. Where's the reparations at? But all y'all got the magic over there. We're just asking questions. Everybody's going into New Orleans and there's buildings shifting and shit because y'all doing shape shifting rituals and shit. Somebody said that their grandmama put a hex on somebody, got somebody barking like a dog and shit. Why can't y'all have those white people over there that got y'all running laws and shit? Telling y'all what y'all can't do and can't do, can and cannot do with y'all black asses. Why don't y'all got them barking like dogs? Because you saying their magic is greater than yours? Is that what you saying? You saying that their magic is what got them over there in the first place? I'm just saying. I'm asking. We're just trying to get clarity here, babe. Girls over here talking about I'm putting a spell on you. I'm the daughter of Satan, Sarah Wynn. What she call herself? Sarah Wynn, this little autistic remedial lady, honey. She was autistic, but she also had some type of learning disability. Girl, getting up on her YouTube and like, I got something for you because you said that you. And I was like, where is she from? I had to ask my people because I got people that speak all different type of languages. I was like, by her accent, where is she from? And they said, girl, that's a speech impediment. And I'm going to open my satanic book and put a spell on you. And I'm like, girl, where you at, girl? Where you at, girl? You got your own place yet? Where you at, girl? Mamas, where you at, girl? Miss Sarah Wynn daughter, where you at, honey? What was the girl, Alexis girl, talk about? She was on American Idol and shit, Mount Evermore, and she want to climb the highest mountain. Yay, yay! What you looking like and what you doing now, Miss Thing? You know, we just talking, girl. All these hexes and spells and shit, girl, and doing the candle work. And sister, it take time. I need them to just go ahead and get that motherfucker. All because I told people y'all weren't really doing magic. And y'all wasn't. That wasn't, girl. Y'all were getting Social Security checks and shit, girl, instead of getting spiritual money, girl. Social Security check, girl, you're not getting no more than $3,000. Spiritual work, if you really are saying what you're doing, girl, you're probably making that in a week or two. So I mean, 60, 70 is what they call it, 67? Who's sitting here settling for a Social Security check when they could be getting money? And then what are you getting a Social Security check on? Is the next question. Are you special needs? You know, because I don't bully special need people, honey. And that's what they be giving, girl. These people be high functioning special needs, and out here telling y'all doing magic. They doing magic and shit, girl. And girl, they sitting here watching RuPaul Drag Race and shit, girl. Getting makeup ideas and shit, girl, watching these drag queen YouTube channels and then out here talking about the homosexuals. Girl, it be reminding me of y'all as a femdom girl when I would have these clients that were like hardcore, I guess you call them MAGAs now, right? They were like hardcore anti-homophobic. I don't like homosexuals. I kicked my son out when he was 11 years old because he was a sissy. I whooped his ass and I sent him on his way. And guess what? They came to see me to give me all day motherfucking money. And while they're sitting there talking about it, oh yeah, really? Oh, you kicked your 11-year-old son out the house because he was a homosexual and you're here trying to suck on a big black dick. What? Excuse me? Excuse me? You voted on no on Proposition 8. No, excuse me. You voted yes on Proposition 8, and you're sitting here getting piped down with plastic replicas and real ones. Oh baby, the price just went up. I need 2K from you. Bitch, fuck that. I need 5K. And I need you to come back for the next 6 months and bring me my fucking 5K every other week. And that's just getting started. And of course, if you don't, you don't want to know what happened if you don't. And that's what I was doing. And so I'm just like, baby, that's what this be giving me too. And it's people be like, the homosexual, the drag queens, the trannies. Oh, these are all niggas. But y'all be learning from these niggas. Y'all makeup artists be learning from these niggas. Girl, they be learning from these men in wigs. Y'all be learning from them. And that's the real tea of it all. And even going into the whole LGBT community, bitch, you owe it to the femme queens. Because they were out there riding for y'all to have y'all rights. Because they could have went in and been stealthy and called it a day. They could have went and had their sex changed and got the fuck out the way. Because that's what they wanted to do. But they helped bring in rights for y'all. For you gay men too that don't like trans people. It was those transgenders back then, honey, that rided for y'all ass. Compton cafeteria queens that rided for y'all motherfucking asses, that got your asses up out of where y'all were at. Y'all didn't have to seek around at nighttime no more to have your fucking fun. Okay, even going into modern day society, honey, there's transgender women out there still making it happen for a lot of people. But bitch, now that they've done the work and the doors have been busted wide open for y'all done came through that door. And now it's the gay boys, it's the cisgenders, and of course it's the heterosexual man. But in reality, it's because they don't like the fact that they see some of these transgenders and they get turned on by it. So they cause the problems. They talk about it. I don't do sissies. I don't do this. And they be loving. They be sitting back watching that shit. They be watching people go crazy. I'm not going to say anything, but I'm just going to speak out. There was a female celebrity who openly talked about how she did not care for the LGBT community and she thought it was quite sick for men to have fun with each other. And the guy that I was getting that money from is connected to that person. And he would always say, I just find this so funny. I just think this is so hilarious. This is so funny, mama. And I'm just like, what's so funny about that? Well, I don't know. It's just amazing that this woman would be so just vulgar and she don't really care because Hollywood is run by the LGBT mafia, and of course they'll say gay mafia. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, so wait a minute. So you have to have people not completely accepting it because then you can continue to hide your likeness and attraction for it. Because now she is so blinded by the idea that my man, my baby dad would never do that. not knowing that your man loved getting trains ran up on him, not knowing that your man paid me to sign up to have trains ran up on him. Hello? And so I was like, oh, now I get it. So when I would see this shit, I'd be thinking that like, okay, these be people that be secretly getting off to this stuff. Yeah, it be people that be really getting off to it because, girl, I told you this before. I don't care for crackheads. I already told this. Out of everything in this world that I don't like, the majority of thing to me, I will never understand is crackheads. I don't talk about them. When I see one, I know of one, bitch, I keep my distance. You're never gonna see me go on a rampage about crackheads, 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 crackheads. F the crackheads, crackheads. I don't even call people crackheads, girl, and I know they on crack because I don't like that. So I don't want to be in that energy in any way, shape, or form. There's other things I dislike, but I'm saying that's the main thing for me where I'm just like, I don't understand that. What's the point of that? You know what I mean? And so it's like, I just keep my distance from that. I don't got to do a presentation on that. I don't got to explain to you why I don't like it because I really don't like it. When you do like it, but you're acting like you don't, you have to give a whole presentation on it so that people could side in with your phobia or your misunderstanding. A good example, if I liked um Asian guys, but I was afraid to admit it for whatever reason because I think some type of taboo or some type of thing, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna act like I don't like the Asian man. And then I'm gonna every time I turn around, oh Asian man, they're so little, they're so tiny, their things are so small, just eating micro, nasty, nasty. And then I'm gonna keep doing that because I want people to jump in on the hate train with me because that's gonna validate. Oh my God. Oh my God. I feel so relieved because they're not looking at me like, girl, why you don't like Asian man? Because I like Asian man. It's the same thing with that. Yeah, but you want people to jump in on your hate because like I said, it gives you comfort in getting away with your shit because they're never gonna think, oh well, he already said or she already said that she's not into certain things, so we know that they're never gonna do it. Girl, bye. They're playing that role. But anyway, let me see. Are some of these societies connected to Eastern practices? Of course, honey. Ooh, Mystic. Did the rest of the European Aboriginals make their way to the Americas? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about the $5 Indians? Or are you talking about the ones that were actually indigenous to Europe? Are you talking about the ones that were actually indigenous? Did you just say? Did you just say fuck? Did you just say the fuck to me? Okay, I subscribe to you. Thank you, Gabrielle Montois. Thank you so much, baby. Thank you so much, Gabrielle. I appreciate that. From Portugal, love Portugal. From Indonesia, love Indonesia. I love all my people. I've been to Singapore. I've been to, yeah, in Singapore. I've been to a few other places. I would love to go to Portugal. Italy. We might be going to Italy next year. Yeah, I don't know. People are afraid. You know, I said I do want to go to Greece because Greece love them some brown skin. Not only that, they love them some two spirited mystic type of tea. You know what I mean? So I can walk there. I can have my boobs out, the cover. You know, say, hey y'all, and I'll go in there like really play like, hey, dirty, give me a drink. Give me something, daddy. I want to drink something now. Give me something. Give me something. Give me something. I want to drink. I'll play that role for real, honey, to really get a piece of that. You know, and I'm like, ooh, wait a minute. Is this a hoodoo hoo? And I'm like a hoodoo hoo. Yes, honey. The real meaning of a bathhouse. Please, mm-hmm. But we were supposed to go to Italy, girl. Milan, honey. Yes, honey. Milano, girl. I've always listened. That was my dream back in the day. I said I'm gonna marry a Milan, Italian man from Milan, Italy. I feel so connected to. That's why I said I know I've had so many lives in so many parts of the world because uh, Indians, love the people, love the food, love Hindi, love Urdu, love Pashto. You know, I love Punjabi. I love the tongues. I love the accents. I love the smells. Oh my God, love it all. The products, love it. Going even into Italy, of course, I love Italian food. My second most favorite food, Italian food. Uh, Italian words, I pronounce them so accurately. Even one of my sisters speaks Italian and Spanish, and she's like, "Oh my God, you speak Italian, baby, you speak Spanish." And I'm like, "See, it's meant for me to marry an Italian man." I love them, and they always tell me that I'm beautiful. Italian men always compliment me and say that I'm beautiful, and it's so crazy. Online, in person, and I even caught myself saying, "You must be Italian." Because they always say, they're like, "Wow, you are gorgeous." And I'm like, I look like a fucking Randover reindeer. What do you mean I'm gorgeous? Like, what the fuck? But they always do that. Even when I did my cam show stuff. Italy and Romania, same thing. Romania, same thing. They love, honey. Ooh, that Romanian witch, she's gonna be mad right now. That Romanian witch, if she's still out there, she's probably upset right now. Those Romanian men, they were trying to book me to go out there, girl. They were like, "Come to Romania. Come out here. I love you. Got you, baby. Give it to you." They taught me some Romanian words and everything, girl. Listen, those Romanian men, honey, listen, they wanted them some of this chocolate, honey. I was like, "Girl, what's going on here?" Girl, so what's going on? And I fly you out here, baby. I book your ticket. I give you one way. You find the other way to go back home. Girl, what you gonna do when I go out there? Hello? Okay. So shout out to the Italian man. Oh, and by the way, you know, uh, Philip Philip Serrano. I actually found out that I have Portuguese blood. I wanted to call my mom and ask my mom about where she think that was, but then of course I'm thinking it could probably be on my dad's side as well because Portuguese also colonized like Latin America and stuff. So, 'cause, they came with the Spaniards. So I think they came with the Spaniards. So I'm like, so wait a minute. So I'm actually Portuguese descendant, not Spanish descendant. That's a gag, baby. I'm gagging. I'm gagging. I'm not saying that that's true. I'm just saying like that had me say like, wait a minute, Portuguese, bitch. Is that why I like Portuguese, man? That's another thing, honey. Love me a Portuguese man, honey. Let's look Mediterranean. I love Mediterranean people, honey. Love Mediterranean people. Love the food. Love the people. Love everything, girl. Syrian, Bacadarian, Ascabarian, Ascabaristian, Ascabastanian, Afghanistanian. Love them all, girl. All the Stanis, all the Aragians, all the Elanos, the Manos. Love them all, honey. Yes, girl. I don't discriminate, girl. Love the Africans, north, east, south, west, Brazilians. Love them all. Listen. K Michelle wrote a song. I love them all. Really do. Love them all, baby. Sure do. I don't discriminate, baby. If you got love for me, I got love for you, and we click, we click. And that's it. And you might need to settle for, polyamorous. I might need, 5 husbands. I hope you're okay with that. Because all of you can't, I mean, maybe you could. Maybe one of you could fulfill me, but then you have to go to work. You know what I mean? So what am I going to do when you're at work? Be bored? No, honey, the second one could come. My second husband could be here and keep me company. You know what I mean? And it don't even got to be an intimate thing, honey, because I don't really care for sex like that, honey. I'm like an asexual, honey. My sex is having conversation. That's what gets me going. Talking. Yeah, I'm a sapiosexual, honey. Yes. There were a lot of Portuguese laborers in the Caribbean besides Brazil. They were in Dominican Republic. You said it. And you know what's so crazy, Jay? People always think that instead of Puerto Rican, they think I'm Dominican or they think I'm Brazilian. So I was like, is this spirit talking? Because I did not find out I had Portuguese blood until literally, I think it's been 2 weeks now. And I was like, Portuguese? What? Like, I gagged. Like, so I'm like, oh my God, I have a whole nother ancestry line that I need to tap into. Because I had no idea. My mom never said it. My dad never said anything about Portuguese. I'm like, maybe they don't know. Because a lot of our ancestors, they really kept secrets. They really, didn't really share things. And so that'd be very interesting to find out who and what side and who. But you said it. I knew someone who was actually Hawaiian, but they were Hawaiian via Puerto Rican, but they were Portuguese descent. because I would say, and of course, Portuguese people are Ethiopian and white blooded, if you don't know. Portuguese people are Indian and white blooded. That's like their genetics. Of course, they have other stuff in them, but their genetics is Ethiopian and white. And so either way, they have this real thick black hair, like real thick, girl. If it got wet, they can shake it and it's dry. And like big noses. They had like this certain, like Benny Blanco. Benny Blanco gives me Portuguese. He does not give me Jewish. This man gives me Portuguese. Yeah. So I'm just like, so are people just claiming to be shit nowadays? I mean, I don't know. But he don't give me, I saw his parents. I'm like, he don't, yeah, his mama cheated on that daddy girl with a lawyer or something, girl. I don't know. That's just my opinion. That man is not a Jewish girl. That is not, girl. I'm looking at these other Jewish people. I'm like, he don't look like no Jewish person, girl. No shade. No shade, girl. I'm looking at Weird Al and shit. He got kind of nappy hair, Jewish, but that man still have white features. Benny Blanco, yeah, he has like a Drake type of energy to him, honey. Like white and black roots, honey. So I'm like, girl, somebody lying to somebody about something, honey. That ain't my business, though. You know what I mean? They want to parade around like there's something that day, whatever. That's their business, girl. Look at me, honey. You know what I mean? But yeah, they were Portuguese descendants, but they were Hawaiian via Puerto Rico. And I was like, that is interesting. That is interesting. Like, whoa. Yeah, that blew my mind. So I'm like, yeah, definitely, yes. You said they were working those fields, honey. I wonder if that's where I get my weirdness from. I feel like, yeah, I feel like, not saying the Portuguese people are weird, but I feel like the energy is just so free spirited. I feel like, they will walk barefoot. They would like to have dangly things, y'all. That was another thing, y'all. I used to have, oh, girl, I have to come up out of it, but I feel like I'm channeling it again. I feel like it, girl. I bought something a couple of years ago, y'all, and I haven't, I've had it hidden away, cleaned out one of my closets, and I found it. But I used to have like dangly stuff. I loved bells. I loved chains. Like you hearing shit, anklets, wrists. Like you hearing things cluck cluck cluck. Like I love that keys jiggling. Like I love sounds like that. So I would have like jewelry on me, rubbing together, making it. And then of course I got out of that because people were like, that kind of remind me of a kid. That's kiddish. So I was like, let me get up out of that. But now I'm like, no, fuck that, girl. I'm going to body that again. Wear my anklets again. Wear my goddess beads still. Put on my bracelets. Necklaces I don't care for because your hair get caught up in that. So I'm like, But I'm ready, honey. Put on all my rings. I used to love rings too. A ring got stuck on my finger, y'all. They had to cut that ring off, girl. That was traumatic, girl. I was 12 years old, y'all. Ooh! And after then, I get nervous to wear rings. But God be like, girl. So I want to get back into my ring, get back into my bracelets, get into my waist beads, get into my anklets, girl, and I just want to walk, and you just hear ding, 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 oh, girl, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait. Oh, that's real. The fuck? Where did that money come from? Um, Portuguese sounds very impressive. I know. I'm gagging, Jay. Almost cried. Almost cried. And another thing they said too, 1.5% Turkish. That's another thing that gagged me. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. It was 6.5% Portuguese, 1.5% Turkish. And I was like, I'm Turkish as well? Like, bitch, listen. Like I said, it gagged me, honey. So I'm just like, when you find out like ancestry and shit, like your mind, oh girl, your mind just get fucking blown away, honey. You're just like, who am I? You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine that? Like, you're just like, oh, my mom's black, white, and Indian. My dad is Puerto Rican. So that's just, who I am. And of course, all this could be a mixture of anything because, of course, the black could be anything. The white could be anything. So you're just like, whatever. But then you just know what you see. And then they actually check in. They're like, oh, you're actually, this and that. And it's just like, Turkish. And that's not a lot neither. 1.5 is not a lot. But I'm like, So whatever ancestors brought their asses over here and mingled in, because I think Turkey is not too far from Portugal. So I'm like, did they migrate from Turkey? Because they said I can pay a certain fee and it'll show the ancestry migration, and I might do that. But it'll show like where they migrated from and how they got where they were. And I'm like, damn. And so the only stories that I was told was my mom's stories, my mom's dad's stories, kinda. And of course on my dad's side, like we know, well, at least I thought we knew all the tea, but now I'm like, no, honey, there's some secrets still. Yeah, still some secrets, honey. But we know enough. We know how we became Americans. And to me, I'm not saying that's all that matters, but because I'm here in America, um, but yeah, yeah, that's amazing to me, honey. I was getting a little emotional when I think about it too, honey. But yeah, that's amazing, honey. Listen, I'm proud of my ancestry, honey. That's it, girl. The black, the white, the Spanish, now the Portuguese and the Turkish. Okay? I'm proud of it all, baby. You hear me? Okay? Yes, migrations and groupings. Yes. Right. So, I, of course, said I was never going to get the ancestor DNA because, of course, they take your blood and they do certain things with it. But somebody gifted me, and I said, why not? Something that I learned and that I'm learning, everything has to be done with intention. If you're doing DNA and all this other stuff just to see what you are, like, oh, I just want to know what part of Africa are my people from? Oh, they're from Cameroon. They're from this and that. Of course, my family's not from Cameroon, but still, I'm from Cameroon and I'm from this and that. And even people sharing it, I'm like, I don't think I would ever publicly do that. Like, I did send kind of a screenshot to one of my people, one of my sisters, and say, could you believe that I have Portuguese blood in me? Like, that made me I was gagging. But to like show the whole profile, yeah, that's for me. Like, that's for me because in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, you can learn a lot about yourself knowing your roots. And so for me, like I said, I wanted to know because I'm like, yeah, I even watched like other shows. And of course, the company that I went through, honey, 23andMe, by the way. It was none of those, people that sold people DNA to other companies and shit. Okay? By the way, I want to point that out. It was not no 23andMe, what was it called? African DNA. What was the other one? Yeah, honey, where they sell their information to China and shit. But yeah, I was like, why not? If it was gifted to me, why not? I didn't buy it. And like I said, they wanted me to pay a little extra to get all that. And I was like, well, you know what? All that matters is that I know. So now I know, honey, when I'm doing something, I'm not culturally appropriating. I mean, I don't think so anyway when it comes to spirituality either way. Because, baby, if the spirit calls out to you, the spirit calls out to you. We're all borrowed energy. Okay? So, like, how recent do you have immigrations in your family technically? And do you think that they can still affect you psychologically levels aside from being open to other cultures and people? So, current immigration, how recent? I would say 300, 400 years. Yeah, I would say 300, 400 years. And it can be a little further than that. But, you said recent. So, yeah, recent would be 1800. Yeah, recent is 1800. Because I think I don't know if it was my mom that said it or it was another person that said it. But I think it's my mom because a lot of my family, they like to tell us like stories and stuff like, like I said about the slavery thing. In school, we were always taught, that all black people were slaves and all black people were treated like this, treated like that. And one of our eldest living ancestors, who actually, from my grandpa's side, she died at 98. And this was maybe 1997, I believe, 1998. And I loved her, honey. She loved flowers and stuff too. And honey, she only loved, well, I'm not gonna say she only loved us because people are gonna say, what the fuck? I have another cousin who is 20 years older than me. She was her favorite. And when I say favorite, like when we were born, she had to go in the room and she had to like be with us. And where's my baby at? And I'm gonna take your baby with me and all that. Yeah. And she only did that with me and my other cousin, who she's 20 years older than me. And so either way, and like I said, this is the eldest, ancestor to survive on my grandfather's, my mom's dad's side. And she said all of that. Like, we were not slaves or any of that, but there was other things that went on, like gambling and prostitution. And I said, go figure. That's why I'm such a sexual person. I don't know. Yeah, prostitution and shit, and brothels and all that. We don't got to get into all that though. But then on the flip side of that, they were still, financially wise, and they didn't trust the banks. They didn't trust the government with their money. And then that's how I knew about the Freemasonries and all that stuff too, where I was like, what the fuck? It's kind of like when people tell you something new, you're like, what the hell? Like, is that me? Like, I'm over here preaching against myself. I'm talking about myself. And that's what my ancestors did. Like, what? That's some mind-blowing shit. That's some mind-blowing shit, honey. And so either way, yeah, recently I would say 1800s or even the early 1900s. Because I think my grandma had a cousin who did not speak English or did not speak English well. And I'm like, whoa, how did he get here then? That's before I knew about all this shit too. I was probably like maybe 9 or 10 when I heard these stories. So I was like, well, how did he get here then? And how does he not know English? And how do y'all know English? Like, I'm so confused. Like, how does my Nana know English, but her cousin don't know English? And then, of course, they're talking about it. And now that I'm older, now I know. So 1800s, the latest would probably be, between 1800s, late 1800s, and the early 1900s. Yes, honey. And do you think that they can affect you on a psychological level aside from being open to other cultures and people? Do you mean spiritually? Because if you're talking about in reality, baby, listen. I am so thankful. I need to make this phone call too. Both. So, recent immigration, we don't talk to that side of the family. That's my grandmother's side of the family. A lot of them were actually, they became racist. And I'm going to say they became racist because my mom and them, they're biracial. And they would go see these relatives, but they had to like duck down in the back of the car. Or they had to like have blankets with, sheets and stuff thrown over them. Because, of course, in that side of town, if they saw these black kids with these white folks, who knows what would have happened. And even like going into my grandmother's mom. And so they were not like that. And my grandmother's dad, they were actually very open and respectful to people of color, Asians, blacks, Hispanics, and all that. But something happened with the siblings where some of them were a little open, and then the aunties and the uncles, well, actually, no, the aunties and the uncles, most of them really was like, bitch, we don't want to get into that, period, anyway. So they really just kept their distance over there in, West Virginia and Oklahoma and Florida. And they don't care for color folks. They don't care for people outside of their white asses. And of course they're passed on now, but I'm sure they taught it to their damn children somehow, some way. But I wouldn't care. I personally wouldn't care. You know what? Now I'm thinking about it, y'all. Oh my God. I know the Portuguese is from my mom's side. And I only know because it's dawned on me right now. You're asking about the immigration, all that stuff, and I remember there is a there is a relative that died as a baby. They got a fever. This is like in the early, I think, 1900s, and they got a fever and they died from that fever. And like I said, they were like 15 months, y'all, and probably even younger than that. No, it was 15 months, not 15 weeks. They were 15 months, so they were almost 2 years old. And they were named after somebody important. And the name, I was like, wait a minute. And I even told my mom too, this is not an Irish name or a French name. Like, this is a weird type of name. So, yeah, that's very interesting. Now I'm thinking about it. So I'm like, yeah. So the Portuguese is my mom's side. Yeah. And that explains some of them having very white features with dark hair. Almost as if they're black passing. Because that's some of them look like, where I'm like, they don't like black folks and they look like they black folks passing as white folks. I don't know. They look like skin jumpers or skin crawlers. So I don't know, girl. That can explain the RH negative blood and all that shit too, honey. That my mom inherited, honey. My mom and her sister, honey. But that could explain that, honey. I don't know. But there you go. It's my mom's side. They got the Portuguese in them. Yeah. Uh-huh. And I'll be interested if it's from both sides too, but for sure, yeah, it's my mom's side. Portuguese. Yeah. So I'm like, that name gives me that type of tea. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, that's not an Irish or French name. It'd be more like Spanish or Portuguese. So I was like, how would he have that name in the 1900s? And I didn't want to type in too, was there any white people named that? Like, we're talking about, like, because they're going to say probably yes, because there's Spaniards will be white. I mean, technically, Spanish, they're Europeans. But I'm like, huh, very interesting. So did any Aboriginal, Indigenous, Europeans, or pre-Indo-Europeans who came to the Americans prior to colonization? So did any Aboriginal, Indigenous, Europeans, or pre... So are you talking about the Caucasus Mountain Europeans, or are you talking about the Europeans who were also brown-skinned? Or are you talking about Europeans that was also brown-skinned? Wait, do you have Creole in your ancestry aside from your stepdad? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think so. Mm-mm. And on blood results, I don't think they'll say Creole anyway. They'll say something else. There was something else that shocked me too, but it was like 0.8%. So I was like, or 0.08%. It was something like that. I was like, that's not enough. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. Small group of people that died out. They kind of killed them. And of course, it was they brought them diseases and stuff. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, interesting, huh? Yeah, very. Like the cheddar man, the brown ones. Okay, the brown ones. Okay, the brown ones. Well, believe it or not, I think they did. And I think that I think it was documented. I think that even going into what made them say that everybody came from Africa, because remember, a lot of the pre-anthropologists and philanthropists and the people that, I think anthropology is the genetics and stuff, they were trying to say that black people were not even human, right? That's what they were trying, like the Darwin theory and stuff. But before Darwin, what made them say that black people, everybody came from Africa, was they were seeing black people in Europe before they even left out of Europe to come into the Americas. They're never going to tell you that in Europe there was also black people, but there were black Vikings. And this is documented. This is historically. That's why I love when people say that, oh, white people could wear braids because the Vikings wore braids. Well, they had black Vikings too. So what does that mean? Because that's not a racial thing, that's a cultural thing. It'd be like the Dominicans saying that they're Spanish and not black. Dominican is a culture. That's a place, that's a culture, and that's a heritage, but that's not a race, babe. So being a Viking does not make you a race. That's like, oh, my Viking husband. I'm like, that's a little racist, babe. Because they have black Vikings too. And we look at these older movies, this is why they show in ancient Greece black people, in ancient Norway black people. They don't just do it because they want to make it fun. No, girl, if they have a Norwegian movie only showing Norwegian people. And so they'll have black people in there, brown people in there, they'll have even people that look Asian there because, of course, racially, race did not become a big thing until Europeans start colonizing other parts of the world. And they have to put their mark on things. And that's the exact same thing of why immigrants in America is classified as Caucasian. Same thing with Mexico. All people born in Mexico are considered Caucasian on their birth certificate, including the indigenous ones, the ones that are very mulatto or very brown skinned. They're considered Caucasian on their documentation. Like I said, when they come over here to America and they get their green card and stuff too, they're Caucasian. So definitely the same thing with that. That there were black people over there when they were leaving out of Spain, when they were leaving out of Portugal and all that to come over into the Americas. Just like there were black people over there in Mexico that met them. They got books out there about it. That's even why the Filipinos even came over. They have black looking Filipinos, and they still have them, by the way, who look very much African. And they brought them in, and they actually named these people in this book too, in this documentation, because this is court records, by the way. They got court documentation of even when they bought California from Mexico and stuff, and exactly how they fought for the land and who came in and who owned what and all that. And so there's some very powerful history in America that we don't really go into. We just kind of overlooked it, right? But of course, this is why America's falling apart. Because we don't really care about the Californian history, right? We don't really care about Arizona. We don't really care about New Mexico. We don't really care about Texas. We don't care about Alabama. We don't care about Florida. We don't care why these places are what they are and who made this land and who bled on this land, who was buried on this land, who was slaughtered on this land, who was scalped on this land. We don't care about that. We're so worried about now. We're so worried about, oh, look at all these gays. Look at all this. But their ancestors fought for you to be able to be here, because if they were not here, you wouldn't be here in America. You wouldn't be here in California. So they're homosexual, but their ancestors fought for that right. And you, being another human being, baby, back at that time, you wouldn't have survived, because you would have been scalped. You would have been scalped on up too. You'd have been fed up. You would have been tied up and ate on and fed on to the wildlife, honey. Hello? And that's why in the 1900s they start banning the wolves, because wolves don't get along with certain type of bloodline of people. That's how I like the movie Twilight. And I told you I'm going to break that down. The wolves don't get along with certain... See, the wolves can determine human and other species from another. From what? From each other. Wolves are timid of humans. They're not afraid, but they're timid. When it comes to other things where you hear about stories about people being attacked by wolves and stuff, you got to question, are you human? Because these animals are sacred. These animals are smart. These animals are ahead of the game. And the fact that they're coming back, the gray wolves have been coming back to California for the past 14 years, and they're coming back even more. Californians, you better wake the fuck up. Woo! I got chills. I need to set up, honey. Californians, you better wake the fuck up. You better wake up, honey. Californians, you that visit California, those who are here in California, this is your home, your second home, you better wake up. Because they're talking. They're talking. They're talking. There's wars that are going on that are not being discussed, and they're only talking about what's important or what they think is important. That's over in Iran. There are deeper wars than that are taking place in this country, on this land known as California, by the way. Hello? I don't think y'all ready to hear that. I don't think y'all ready for that type of discussion. And that type of stuff I want to talk about behind the scenes too. Like the Twilight stuff, I'll probably do a public video for that. There's something else I wanted to kind of break down into culture. I'll probably do a public video for that. But like the heavier stuff, I want to do that to where like a tribe. Like, girl, we all know each other. I know your intentions. I know you're trying to get this information to change something, to empower something. And that's where it's at for me. You know, I love California. I love this thing. Even though my ancestors are not directly from this land, there still have been some blood shed on this land. And my ancestors, their blood was shed here. Going into that, a lineage was still start here. Was still starting here. Generation was still sought here and sown here. And so there's so much magic and there's so much energy here, and I utilize it as much as I can. And this is why I win. Okay? And so you have a lot of Californians, and the magic is just going right over their heads, honey. They're not utilizing it. They're not understanding why California is so free, why California was the first state to legalize interracial marriage. And of course, you're going to think that interracial was only for black and white, Hispanic and Asian, white and Hispanic, Asian and white. But it goes deeper than that. This place is magical. From the taverns to the mountain ranges to the parks, to the dams, to the dried up lakes, to the lakes that are coming back. There's power. They have ghost towns, y'all. Do you know what's in these ghost towns? You know what type of energy? You know what type of energy is in this Ooh, girl. Ooh. Woo. Honey, that energy is amazing, honey. It had to do with Khalifa and her nation. Come on here. Some of those black Madonnas must have been images of groups of indigenous people prior to the Indo. You said it. You said it. Because they were venerating the Black Madonna in Europe before they came over here. And when they came over here, they were gagging because over there in Central America, they had something called the Negro Crystal, which I want to do something on that too. But I think that's going to be a private. I might do a public video given about that, but that type of power right there. And of course, if you're an immigrant, ooh, come over here so you can see. Woo! Ooh, girl. Woo! They're 250 years ahead of you. They're 250 years ahead of you. They're 250 years ahead of you, which means that they already know what is destined to happen or what is to come in 250 years. So things that are happening now was already thought out and already planned 250 years ago. And some of it has been prior to that. So everything is coming into alignment, and they knew exactly what they were doing when they're doing it. And that's why, to me, it seems unreal. To a lot of people, it seems unreal because you kind of see it unfolding because you're like, this is out of a gameplay book. Like, this was set up, and they all know about it. And so going into what is going on in a lot of stuff, and like I said, if you're immigrant, if you're LGBT, no way in any, listen, there is no way, and people don't want to hear this, and that's okay, because we can break this down too. LGBT is divine feminine energy. It's so frowned upon. People frown upon LGBT more than they frown upon essayers, animal abusers, child neglectors and abusers, and KAs. People will turn their eye. They will spit on you. They will flip you off. They will try to get rid of you for being LGBT before they get rid of a pedophile. I want you to understand how deep that is. Because that PDFer stuff is divine masculine energy. So they're going to protect that. Because even they had women chatting for a period of time, protect our kings. That's not how kings move. So the divine feminine energy has been oppressed. It has been attacked for a very long time. And of course, people have been asking for years. We're going to say 250 years. When is the right time? When is the right time And so you go back to even like 10 years ago, you go back into like 2008, 2009, when people started talking about energies and magical stuff and information was put out. And y'all, some of this stuff is not even out no more. They used to have a website where they had a dictionary. Oh, come on in here. We're going to talk about it. And I took a screenshot of it too. I need to go onto my, I think it's, I have a hosting thing that hosts images. They literally had a website where you could type in a deity, and this deity, it will tell you what is this deity, the origin of this deity, what does it mean in different cultures, different religions, when it first was spoke about, and what is this deity connected with. And it'll say possibly is also this spirit. And this was a guide in reference to people. So when you meet people and they talk about, oh, I don't believe in this and that. Who you believe in? I believe in that. And then you look at it and you're like, oh my God, that's the same spirit. And so either way, they took that away. That's the whole point of me saying this. So information has been deleted. Information has been removed. It's solely being removed. Even when you look up like Black Mirror and stuff, you used to be able to look up Black Mirror and a lot of shit pop up. Now you look up Black Mirror, they're talking about the damn book and the damn movie. Hello? And then if you say, ideally, Black Mirror, whatever, it'll say allegedly or theoretically or once upon a time they believe that Black Mirror is blah, 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 blah. But your TV is a Black Mirror. Your cell phone is a Black Mirror. Hello? The sky is a Black Mirror. That's why they say the sky is the limit. It's not saying that you can manifest up to that sky. It's not saying you can't manifest past the sky. It's saying that what you're asking for is always right there. So I learned that over these years, there's a lot of things that are being removed. And even like a flip of a switch, when shit start getting deleted, you have everybody named mama. I'm a terrorist. Not a terrorist. I'm a tarot reader. I'm a psychic. I'm a this. I do spell magic. I'm a conjurer. I'm a magician. Like everybody was everything all of a sudden. And it's like, but can you show examples of your magical abilities? Can you show any type of magical? Can you have somebody to come on record or off record to say, is this person magical? And how's they been their whole life? Because, girl, you don't just become magical at 50, 30, 40. Girl, you in dire need, all of a sudden your gifts come back to you. You go homeless, you get evicted, you get sued. Now all of a sudden the spirit is talking to me now. That's how that works, babe. As you get older, it starts to come through at a certain age. It becomes amplified at a certain age. It leaves you, the pseudo energy leaves you at a certain age. And then at a certain age, the real you show up. It's like your fake teeth. Like, right? Like we all have teeth, which we call children's teeth, right? And then when your child's teeth fall out, then you get your adult teeth, and these are permanent teeth. When these come out, ain't no more teeth coming out. Girl, or y'all, that's the same thing as magic and spiritual power. Your real spiritual power, you have we're not going to say a pseudo, but we're going to say there's not a facade, but there's a covering of you that you have when you first come out. Because, of course, you have to be protected. Okay? And, of course, some children are protected. And some children, people seek after these kids and they do things to them. And that's why we know that some of these people are demonic and they're not even human. Because what human will do that to another human being? So you have to start to question the Epstein files and all this other stuff about these people. Are these people even human? Honey, are they human? Because ain't no human doing that to another fucking human. Hello? Hello? Let's just talk about it for a minute. Ain't no real human doing that. Ain't no human doing that to another fucking human. And I have no type of feeling about, oh, I don't give a fuck. That's what I said. Y'all gotta be careful, girl. Y'all gotta be you gotta be really careful. And that's something I want to get into as well. Behind the scenes, we're gonna do something. And I might do a little TTT or like do a little spiritual tea, and I'm gonna know because you're gonna reach out to me after I do this spiritual tea, and I'm gonna know that you're ready for the tea, and I want to give you something so you can see people and things for what it is. When like this is a little weird. This is not normal situation. something is off. Something is not feeling right. And you're gonna get the fuck up out of there, honey. Been there, done that. I tell you, so many near-death experiences, so many interactions with people, and it was a setup. They were trying to remove me off the face of this fucking earth. And girl, I was like, ooh, something is not right. And of course, like the Bible speaks about calling angels. Oh, baby, we start calling those spirits in. Oh, come on in here. And baby, like nothing, people were popping up. Hey, you okay? You okay? Everything good? Yeah, why? Are you sure? Cause you're not really, are you sure? You're like, yeah, I'm good. All right, just double checking, leaving. And you're like, what the fuck? Who was that? And they're like, who is that? I don't know. Just a random guy asked me that. Or a random girl. No, bitch, those are spirits coming in to protect you. Come on, let's talk about it. See, this type of work that people don't really want to talk about. People want to get into magical, but you're still in the physical world and you need physical presentation still for energy to shift. And so either way, there's just been a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of things that have been happening and people have been seeing it because they believe if you look like them or if it looks like you and it puts that information out there, you're going to say, oh, I can relate to her. I can relate to him. Where did you come from, girl? You're either an agent or you're not human. Either way, you're still a part of the governmental force. Nobody heard of you before. Nobody's seen you before. Nobody can say, yeah, we can't call no mama. We can't call no daddy. We can't call no sister. We can't see no son or daughter to say, yes, yeah, here's our baby picture. This is me and my mom when I was 3 years old. But even then, can we see the pregnancy picture? Even then, can the auntie, can people come out and talk? But mysteriously, oh, I don't talk to none of my family. I'm not cool with none of my family. Not even your friends know your family? None of your friends ever met your mom or dad? Your baby daddy never met your mom or dad? That's a little creepy. Like, are you human or are you an agent? Like, this is some weird shit. And you really ask these questions like, what's really going on here? But either way, to, staying on it, some things have changed. And like I said, they're not wanting you to access certain information because this is the time. It's all been a setup. And like I said, and I was going to say before, and I'm going to get up off here because, baby, I was supposed to call somebody at 8 o'clock. And I think it's like 9 something. If you are a woman, if you are gay, if you are LGBT, if you're feeling any type of oppression in this world, in this country, in this place, right here, right now, you are not educating yourself on what it is that you are and where it is that you come from and where it is that you're going. You are not educating yourself on what's inside of you. Didn't Mariah say, the hero lies in you? They got you looking out for the next. And see, that's the other thing why they taught you religion. Because they wanted you to have that captive save a whole mentality. Oh, leave it on God. Oh, no, honey, that energy is still a warring energy. People don't understand that spiritual warfare is real. It's not just, I'm going to pray and let go and let God. No, you got to get into the fields, baby. You got to get into the fields. And in the field, talking to one person now, for you would be who you are, what you are. What is possibly connected to you? What the land you on? What was here before? The foods, the trees, everything you see, the trees. How long are these trees here? Because everything is the element. You're an elemental being. You're not harnessing that energy. And you think that just so happened, the universe, you fell here. Like, how did I end up here? Why am I here? Because there's something great in you that is wanting, that is needing to be unleashed. And none of this happens by coincidence. And sometimes it's like you got to hit rock bottom for that strong side of you to come out. Some of you, you've been too entitled. You've been too privileged. And instead of the leaders coming out, like the people I've always called out before, instead of them coming out and teaching you how to really fight in the fields, they want to, oh, you should be upset. You should be angry. No, you shouldn't. Because the battle is not yours in that sense. You're a soldier in the battle, but you're not the chief of that battle. You're the soldier in this battle. You're not the chief. So you should not be upset if anybody's before you, because they're not. It says that the ass will be the ass will become the head and the head will become the ass. It's not happening yet because y'all still so concerned about why you're the fucking ass. And you got people, y'all should be, oh girl, watching these videos about these dumbass people, girl. I could say so much shit, but I'm not. These dumbass people. I think that black folks should be protesting all Asian establishments because the Mr. Chow, he got away with doing this to that, and these Asians been doing too much to us. The fuck? So when we gonna fight for child custody? When we gonna put together the same energy and protest for your no nothing ain't wanting to work, trying to keep his income from you ass bastard ass father, baby's father. When we all gonna come together and march to their motherfucking jobs and demand to be motherfucking added to their insurance and shit? When we gonna do that? When we gonna orchestrate shit that actually is beneficial to us and not just, oh, y'all gotta be upset, we gotta go do it. Girl, what? People were so more into fighting for the GL stuff and the BLM stuff more than they were fighting for themselves. You had people that were willing to risk it all, including be taken out by the police officer, because they saw a man that had nothing to do with them, that wouldn't give a, even right now, the family don't give a fuck about y'all. He wouldn't give a fuck, and the family don't give a fuck about y'all. But we gotta come together. We gotta show that we stick together. No, showing them that you stick together is holding the man and woman that you lay with, holding them motherfucking responsible and accountable. That will make me think that you got your shit together. Not you going out and burning up a Burger King or a McDonald's that you live at, that you go eat at, because we don't eat the motherfucking McDonald's. I'm not going to fucking Minneapolis to eat at that McDonald's that you burn it down. So that's not doing a motherfucking thing for me. Respectfully. Girl, standing on a corner, no King's Day, no King. Girl, no shade. That ain't doing a fuck ass thing, girl. That's just putting you on. That's distracting the law enforcement from doing real life crimes, solving real life crimes. That's prolonging case to being solved. If a woman have an emergency, they're gonna take twice as long to get to her because y'all asses are marching down Sepulveda or Santa Monica Boulevard. Talk about no King's Day. If you really wanted it, girl, then why can't you jump into your religion, as y'all say that y'all so comfortable with? Because it's their religion. That power don't work here today. That's why. That's why. You can't use their gods against them, girl. That's their gods. That's their programming. That's their servitors. You cannot use that against them. And that's why I thought, oh, let go and let God. I'm a pray God. And the white televangelists on the TV screen talk about stuff. The Negro spirituals were sung because the Negroes knew that one day they were going to be free. They still not free. And they sang that shit every day for hundreds of years, babe. They were singing Negro spirituals that you gave them. They weren't tapping into their own shit because they weren't Negroes. That's what you gave them. That's the title you. That's, ooh, girl, that man made me mad. I just want to read him one good time. That's one the fuck I need to really read. That's one the fuck I really need to read. I need to see who the fuck that televangelist that thought he was getting him together and get him together. In the name of Jesus. Rebuke him in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Because he is a devil. Talk about the Negro spiritual shit, girl. No, girl. They're worshiping your gods. They're worshiping images that look like y'all. And that's something too. It said no idol worshiping. No making grave images. Where in the Bible do Jesus say take his image? Where in the Bible did Jesus say wear the cross? Where in the Bible did Jesus say take my image, put it on my wall and pray to me? Because it's in your heart. But see, they have to give you the image because it's not real. It's the energy. What they say, it's a feeling. Honey, it's nothing physical. That's an energy, babe. And you can feel that. You could step and you can feel the presence of the Holy Spirit when you walk into the presence of the Holy Spirit. I don't need to see a church. I don't need to see a cross. I don't need to see a pastor. I don't need to see no clergyman. When the Holy Spirit is present, I can feel it. When the Holy Spirit is present, you know the Holy Spirit is present. I don't need no man, I don't need no woman, I don't need nobody to tell me about it, baby, because you just as blind to it as I am. You're a man, you're a woman like me. But you're born into sin, and you're going to die in it. So you cannot teach me anything outside of yourself like I can't teach you outside of yourself. So like I said, I know what that energy feels like because it's in me. Hello? So I don't need you to tell me, oh, though, God ain't with you. The fuck? God ain't with me? I can give you the story. I can give you examples and stories that have been documented that God has definitely been with me. Honey, hello? But you think because you've been brainwashed that your life is more pure than mine. That's that entitlement. And that's why things are falling apart now. That's why there's a war between Israel and Palestine now. You have real versus fake. You have fake energy versus real energy. Hello? And they put it right in front of your face too. They put it right in front of your face. Put it right in front of your face. And I don't want to get too deep into that because like I said, everybody's not ready for that. But they put it right in front of your face. And we got to do God's plan. No, God can do his own plan. God can activate and deactivate. Oh, come on in here. God is the deactivator and the activator. Honey, you're stepping into it because it's monetary or egotistical gains for you. That's why you got to get into it. But God is not backing that up. Because God can deactivate that and get the whole nation gone. Hello? That's the type of energy that we're talking about. But people don't know how to tap into that because you're being misled. You're having the wrong information fed to you. You have people that sit there and talk about they're tapped in, but they need guidance still. So you're not really tapped in. You gotta let that ego die, babe. It's okay to say, I thought I was tapped in, but I'm really not. It's okay. Like I said, can nobody say as a reader that I came and got a reading done with them? Once I stepped into my position and my power, I don't get readings done with people. Because my readings come from source, and source tells me what I need to know. And I said, when people say that they can't read themselves, because they're not connected to the source. They're connected to fakeness. They're connected to a false energy. And that false energy is why you can't read yourself. Hello? Because God is going to give it to you first before you give it to your neighbor. God ain't going to tell you, hey, go tell your neighbor about this, but I'm going to leave you out the picture. I'm not going to tell you what you need to know. The hell? Do you not know why the Bible and other scriptures talk about praying and fasting? Because you're going within. And see, a lot of you overlook that. Oh, I've been fasting and praying all day. No, you haven't. You're lying. I don't see it. I don't feel it. I've been meditating all day. No, you haven't, because you're going within when you're doing that. And you're completely shutting down the outside. When I'm meditating, I forget I'm even human, respectfully. I forget I'm even here where I'm at when I'm meditating. I forget what I'm even doing while I'm meditating. I can't be meditating and cooking. I can't be meditating and, like, baby, when I'm in that zone, I forget the fucking day, the time, the year, the month, the season, because I'm in there. And that's what we're doing. We're not saying I'm meditating, and when you come out of meditation, your life is still broken. Your life is still disorganized. You're still not manifesting. That's not meditating, babe. You're wasting time. You're being distracted by something that is not holy. And that's what is going on. And that's okay. I'm not judging. I'm just giving you the information. When you're in confusion and you don't know what to do, this is why you go and you sit still. And you allow that information to come up. And now you say, oh, I meditated today. And now I know what I'm going to do with A, B, C, D, F, G. And when you do it, it works. Because when you go within and you tap into that energy is the truth. So it's not no, oh, well, I thought that's what God wanted me because when I meditate, that came to me. You're lying. And don't you lie on God ever again. Don't you ever lie on the Holy Spirit again. I'm not going to say God because I don't know what type of God or what type of source you're connected to. Don't you ever lie on the Holy Spirit again. When you're meditating and you're silencing yourself and standing still, you're connecting to infinite energy. And that information is coming up. And that's what's going on. And of course, if you're too clouded, this is why you go to other people who are also gifted and tapped in to give you insight. Yes, we all have the ability to tap in, but some of you, you're so distracted. There's so much going on. You can't sit still. When you sit still for 10 seconds, you're thinking about the man, the woman, the boy, the girl, the money, the bills. You're not thinking in that moment of silence, I need a healing, God. Heal me. I need a financial breakthrough, God. Give me the information I need to get it. You're not thinking of that in that moment. You're thinking about everything else. You can't sit silence for 10 minutes and really honestly go within. Because that's what you're doing. You're going within. And everything is coming up. When people say, I meditate, I would sit back and I would think to myself, even right now, out of all these years of meditating and stuff, when I'm in my meditation, there's times where I get really emotional. There's times I get really ecstatic. I laugh. I cry. I get very emotional because everything comes up. Like things build up. You're everyday interacting with other people and other energies, and you're not taking that time to know your own energy. You're putting your own energy on the back burner to deal with your job, to deal with your children, to deal with your husband, to deal with your friend, to deal with your parents. And when you have that moment of solidarity and solace, and you're able to allow that information to come up, it comes up. And now in this moment, the energy really comes up and you get emotional. So it's like, I can say, I've never meditated and just completely come out of meditation and be like, oh, I meditated today and it felt good. Yeah, baby, I was crying in my meditation. I was laughing in my meditation. Like I said, I'm not aware of me doing this. I just know the energy that's coming up and it's being released. And even sometimes information's coming up that I never thought about where I'm like, damn, all this whole time I've been doing it wrong. And so that's what it's like when you really meditate. And that's what I said before. You are meditation. Everything that you need is already in you. Every idea you have is already there. Every thought you had, every experience you've had, every experience you're gonna have, it's already here in the moment, inside of you. That is the ethers. It's inside of you. So if you sit here and you be like, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. You're not going within. You're not going within. I'm doing my work, but I'm not seeing the results. You're not going within. You're not going within. And everybody got that moment of silence that they can have. Everybody's not that damn busy. You don't have 24 hours in a day for nothing. That you're doing something. Oh, no, I have to. No, baby, you have some time to yourself. You don't take your kids in the bathroom with you. You don't take your kids when you go to the toilet to go take a number two. You don't take your kids in the bathroom when you go to go shower neither. Or better yet, when you're fucking on everybody. If you're that type of person. You could be using that time to meditate. Put on some nice little soothing music. And just being in that silence. And just let it all come. Whatever comes, let it come. Whatever don't come, don't rush it. Just acknowledge. And that's meditating. But either way, y'all, there's shifts going on. And unfortunately, a lot of people's going to pass y'all by. I look at these TikTok influencers. I look at even these YouTubers. I'm like, these people are like 40-something years old, 50-something years old. And they're lost. They're lost. Babe, they're really lost. And they're here with all the answers for y'all. And it's like, but you can't show no example of where you applied this knowledge. Applied this science to your own life. You can give us no physical, tangible example of you manifest. Everybody thought they were manifesting when they got PPP loans, y'all. And that gagged the fuck out of me. A PPP loan is not a manifestation. Honey, if you already had a business and you were losing money in your business, PPP loan that was a blessing to you. These spiritualists, girl, they didn't have no employees like that. So, girl, these hoes are getting PPP loans out of fraud and shit. They were doing it out of desperation. They were doing it out of denial. And of course, that's a loan. That's borrowed energy. And it has to come up to the surface. Everybody has cycles, as I always say. And when your cycle is dry, allow yourself to rest. When the money is not as popping as it once was, allow your mind and body to rest. And when the energy gets back up again and you're back into that groove and move of getting that money again, then you're able to do it because you're like, I rest, I recover. You cannot be in hustle, bustle, gusto mode all the damn time. That is a burnout. And that goes to anything, not even financial. That goes into healing. You got to allow your body and mind to rest. It's okay not to have people around you all the time. It's okay not to always have people on the phone with you. It's okay not to always have people in your house or in your bed. It's okay to be alone sometimes. You have to know your energy. You have to allow your energy to rest. People be talking about I grounded, I grounded, I walked through the forest and I grounded, I grounded. Girl, you have 24 hours in a day and you only grounded for 30 minutes out of that day. Let's talk about it. They say you sleep 8 hours, which is a third of your life. That's what they say, a third of your life. That's a third of your life, right? What is 30 minutes out of 24 hours? So your whole lifetime, you only spend this amount of time grounding? No, baby, I'm grounding multiple times throughout the day. Sometimes I set an alarm to where it's every 2 hours I'm grounding. That's what keeps me humbled. That's what keeps me secured. That's what keeps me energetic. Because people be pulling, honey. You got to stay grounded. You got to stay grounded. So that's it, honey. I'm going to leave that with y'all. I got to go. Come on in, half 82 skies. Okay, I know somebody feeling me. Ow! I know somebody feeling me, honey. Because see, we've been waiting a little too long. Girl, 2016 we got on YouTube, and I'm like, what type of magical event collectively have we done seen and benefited from all this spiritual knowledge? Can somebody come out and do a testimony? Because some hoe was trying to do that too, girl. Some hoe that was fucking with Kali Ma, and Kali Ma got her right together. A lot of these girls be fucking with Kali Ma. Got her right together, girl. But she was like, we need the people who you've done work with to come forward, which of course, I'm going to be encouraging that to y'all to, do your testimonies and stuff, honey. And maybe even my in-person people too. I'll have them do a little voice thing. But long story short, she was saying it. But I'm like, have y'all ever asked any of the people that were like Bobby Hemmett's mentors or mentorees or apprentices? You ever have them come forward and give an example of how that knowledge blessed them and elevated their life? Huh? Phil Valentine, Pharaoh, Young Pharaoh, Brother Polite, Blue Pill, Yellow Pill, Purple Pill, Red Pill. You ever had these people, followers, come out and said, I took this $1,500 course and I learned how to level myself up, and now I'm an anchorer for the northwestern Philadelphia area as a spiritual mother. Because see, 1 equals 10, 10 equals 100, 100 equals 1,000, 1,000 equals 1, and it just keeps going. So this is where we have to get into. Have we seen anything collectively, girl? Has there been, they've been talking about reparations for black folks. Why aren't these leaders getting together to help make that possible? These magical people. I do my gold, I do my silver, I do my palladium. All this shit looking sick as fuck. Most of them are looking sick. Girl, teeth fucked up, bones, they look bones and shit, girl. Look like they got the virus or something, girl. And people just, oh, I like their knowledge. They spewing good knowledge. Girl, you don't got a book to read. That's why you think they're really dropping it like it's hot. Girl, they're dropping it in their 40s plus too. They weren't doing it in their teenage years or 20 years and all that stuff, girl. They want a teenager educating grown adults on how to be an adult. Hello? Let's talk about it, baby. And a lot of them are using that shit. And I don't know if it's the people that I think Brother Polite allegedly was using it to manipulate, but they were using this knowledge to get people's panties off. Respectfully. But like I said, with Dr. Umar and all this knowledge that they've done for the community, what changes have we done? Have we seen? Are we seeing an increase in people? Hi, my name is Gloria Estefan, and I'm a black woman from, Baltimore, and I'm from the project. Shout out to my folks out there. I'm a follower of Dr. Umar, and he taught me how to invest my money, and now I'm a millionaire, and my sons are in school right now. One of them just got accepted to Yale. Like, where's these type of testimonies at? Because we're just talking about the same shit over and over again, and we're not seeing no results. Can we talk about it? So, when are we going to see this melanin magic step up? When we going to see it? When we going to see it step up? Where they're saying, you guys, guess what? There's been a decrease in blah, 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 blah. Because it needs to be televised. It's going to be televised. It's going to be televised. When are we going to see the changes? Because the seeds was already sown, allegedly. So that means that they were playing in our face. That's what that means. They were playing in our faces. And it's going to take you 30, 40, 50 years. I think they said Bobby Hemmett has been talking about this stuff since 1980s and 90s and stuff. I'm like, damn, where was these people, the anchors and stuff at? You know, I mean, when I say anchors, I mean people that took the knowledge and actually applied it and they're helping other people out. And now over there in Brooklyn, over there, whatever, when they tried to gentrify Brooklyn, those witches and warlocks over there that tapped in was stopping. Because I think the last time I heard, they said the Jewish people were going over there to Brooklyn and taking people property and shit. I was like, what happened to the teachers of Dr. Bobby Hemmett and Phil Valentine and stuff over there? What happened to those teachings? To teach the black folks how to get their power back and stuff. And to hootie badootie and all that. What happened to those teachings, girl? Y'all just throw the shit out the window? Honey? It kind of gives me Christianity and stuff, girl. A lot of people are spiritually dead, girl. Prematurely. Girl. Let disease and stuff get rid of them. And that'd be another thing too for me, girl. I love when they be like, yeah, I'm overweight because spirit said I needed protection and all that. Do you know that you start losing your organs in your 30s? Do you know that you start losing your organs due to high sugar and high sodium, as well as fat being in your body and organs that shouldn't be? And I think it's called brown fat. So if you're tapping into these gods and goddesses, why are they not teaching you that? We're not teaching you the importance of staying hydrated, eating properly, not just eating plant-based only, but eating properly, because lean meats are good for you too. There's certain things you get from animal meat, honey, especially if you're O blood type. Now, if you're A and B, honey, that's a whole nother story. O blood type, baby, vegan, plant-based only, that is not, listen, hello? You don't have to listen to me, I'm just saying. You still need some dairy. You still need something. You still need some type of dairy, some type of milk, some type of something. Okay? To keep your bones and stuff strong. Hello? Because your body works a little different. You're more acidic than the others. So A and B, they can, A blood type, they can deal with plant-based because their blood and stuff is sensitive. So they can, eat solids all day. O blood type, you're too acidic, baby. You need some heavy shit. Or you're going to have digestive problems. Yeah, you gotta have something heavy every now and then. It don't gotta be all the time. You gotta have something heavy, honey. Okay? So, anyway, like I said, can we see these 360s? This information come out 360. But we're not gonna see it. We're not, because people on their bullshit. That's what's going on. They on their bullshit. Aren't they gentrifying everywhere now? They are. But I mean in a sense of, because see, gentrifying mean they got money. And allegedly people ain't got money because they don't loan money to black folks. But there are black people that got loans. Because that's why there's successful black business owners out there. And also going into hoodoo and voodoo. They got rituals out there that you can do to get approved for loans and stuff and, all that. I mean, let's talk about some of us, girl, we manifested houses and cars with bad credit. Hello? And some people say, girl, they manifested Mercedes-Benz and sleeping on the streets and shit. And they were like, I deserve an award. Some people out here saying they got all this magic, all this knowledge, but they couldn't go get a bank loan because they had no credit or they had no income to prove to get funding. Of course, people say, yeah, Navy Federal said that they were denying black application on purpose. The fuck? I barely heard about Navy Federal a couple of years ago. Honey, they are not the main ones, girl. Hello? Like I said, there are very successful minority owners out there. And what they say, if they don't have the table for you, build your own table. Indians in California, from India, they've established their own everything. Their own merchant system. Of course, the white man challenges them. But guess what? They have the smarts to back that shit up. They don't get a handout from the white man. The white man is not saying, oh, you the Indian people, we're going to go ahead and not worry about you. One of the Indian guys I know, he owned a smoke shop and a grocery store. He said that every week they were coming out trying to write him up for something. Every week they were coming. Hey, hello, we got no. It's Mr. DuPage. Blah 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 blah. Here, yeah, we gotta go through here because we gotta complain about there was a smell of like onions or something coming in the back of the building. Girl, what? But they have the smarts. So all I'm saying is, baby, respectfully, and of course people don't like to hear that. People like to hear foo-foo talk and doo-doo talk. They like foo-foo and doo-doo talk. They don't like hearing about no real shit. Bitch, if you're tapped into some real shit, let's see some real work. Let's see some real work. Let's see some new homeowners, even before the PPP loans. Let's see what they say more black people are buying more homes. More single black mothers are owning and establishing their own businesses. This type of shit I want to see. If the teachings are really teaching. Girl, they doing all these brother seminars and shit. We going out to Mount Shasta. We're going over here to Mount Vernon. We're taking a trip to Niagara Falls to teach these young men how to be men. Are we seeing more or less single mothers out here? Are we seeing more or less black men marrying their baby mothers? Can we talk about it? Like I said, y'all not ready for that type of teaching, but y'all want to talk about homos and niggas in wigs and all this other shit. That's not important, babe. What's important is, baby, where your baby pappy at? What's more important is, girl, why you can't get and keep a motherfucking man. Because the people started saying, instead of saying homo bitch marriage, she said homo bitch and sissy and all this other good shit, girl. If people start saying single black woman, or they start making shit up that's offensive, girl. Oh, girl, people are gonna go crazy. Oh my God, they're coming for black women again. Black women under attack again. We're just talking, babe. It's time for us to step up and step out. Step up and step out. Step the fuck up and step out. We listening to grandmama and granddaddy tell some people don't even got no grandmama or they don't got no damn granddaddy. Sitting here playing grandma category and auntie category, and girl didn't even have a fucking auntie or a motherfucking mama or a grandmama to show them how to be an auntie or a mama or a grandmama. Giving y'all advice and shit. Well, something I learned about magic is the fuck. But you talking about, you know about magic before you got on welfare? You knew about magic before you had this baby father? That now you're a single mother? And like I said, y'all not questioning that because that's a familiar energy. But girl, it takes one to know one. And that's that. It takes one to know one, babe. So if you can if you can show me how to get up out of there, why couldn't you do it? That'd be like me giving y'all money rituals and I don't know how to get no money. That'd be like me showing you how to do healing rituals. I don't know how to heal or get healed or give a healing. That'd be like me showing y'all how to do anything, girl, and I can show proof about, oh, girl, this what it was, this what it wasn't. Hold people accountable. But see, hey, like I say, people don't hold themselves accountable. So you don't hold yourself accountable. I don't expect you to hold anybody else accountable. Anyway, let me make this phone call, honey. There's an engine that connects to some energy in the Middle East. Very abundant and prosperity driven. It sure is. But not to mention, too, what's underneath. Money is water. That's why everything financially is connected to money. Pacific Ocean is very magical. Any country, any state, even whatever that's along the Pacific Ocean is prosperous and abundance. Going even into the water gods of the Pacific, going into the coastal, and people always say this too. Well, how do you know the name of the water gods and goddesses? Go along the coast of California and even Florida, and correct. And I'm willing to stand corrected that some of the names of these cities and towns and counties are named after prosperity gods and goddesses. And some of them you're going to know, some of them you're not. You do your research on it, and you're going to fucking gag. Same thing with California. Like I said, California and Florida, for sure. You look along the coast and look up every little city and say, oh, what energy is this? And what... I never heard of this city. What does this mean? And watch what it say. This is a goddess of water. This was known as a goddess of money, monetary, bingo, 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 bingo. Any place that had ports and gates and ships coming in to deliver shit, bitch, there's money there. You see, like I say, everybody's a witch until when it matters. People going to New Orleans and stuff too. That was a docking bay too at one point. Hello? People going there just to go there. You're not tapping into shit that's important. You're going there because it's scenic. It's aesthetically pleasing through the eye. You're not tapping into energy. Oh yeah, some place say you go to the cemetery. Not go to. Why you got to go to the cemetery though? There are some people buried. There's some things buried under those hotels, under those churches, under those banks, under those properties. Why you have to go to the graveyard to tap in to get some money or get a money spirit? Hello? Like I said, California, same thing along the coast. You look up certain things. It's going to talk about water spirits, water guides. And that's why California's water. But of course, they're trying to fuck California up. California's been under attack since 2012. They're really trying to get California together. They're really. But shout out to my Californian Persians. Shout out to my Californian Asians. Shout out to my Californians, even my other people that are tapped in. The African, the blacks, the Europeans. Shout out to y'all. Baby, shout out to y'all. Y'all tapping in. Y'all not letting these people play in your face. You're not gonna let California become like a Louisiana or Mississippi. Hello? You're not gonna be over here talking about you a California witch, West Coast witch, but you can't get these people out your face. They don't like you, they see you, they still roll their eyes, they still put their nose up. Oh, that's a nigga. Yeah. Girl, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Oh, that's respectful for them to say that. Girl, the fuck out of here, girl. They were calling, everybody was auntie and mama and sister back in the day. Auntie Mina, auntie this, auntie that, uncle this, uncle that. They were calling their older cousins uncle within the colored community. They wasn't calling hello, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The ones who did follow that truth, they got that from the master's teaching. But they were really calling those white folks ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, sir. Even while they were getting their butt beat, honey. And that's sad. When they were getting lynched, they were saying sir and ma'am. That's traumatizing as hell. And now it's ingrained. Oh, they're just being respectful. Who said they were being respectful? Because you were being respectful to the white man because he would have backhanded you. So you were calling him yes, ma'am, and yes, sir? Honey, what? They even had older people calling their younger folks. Look at the movie The Help. They had these older black women working for these younger white folks calling them ma'am and sir and stuff. These people are younger than you, honey. Hello? Get those people out your face. Get back your power. Stop letting them play in your face. Yes, honey. Well, that's why these lakes are coming back in California too, honey. These lakes and these rivers are coming back. These lakes and these rivers, honey. Anyway, let me make this phone call, y'all. Bye for now, Jay. Thank you Heather. Thanks so much for staying here. 2 hours and 22 minutes, y'all. Oh my God, it's probably about to be 10 o'clock right now. Girl, my friend gonna say, no, girl, Artie, She can say, girl, Artie went home and did a little something, girl. Y'all, let me call back, okay? No, literally, sit y'all little asses down, Cleavers. Right. Like I said, you're the prize. Honey, I don't even gotta speak to you. So listen, I can smile at you and call it a day. I don't have to say, hi, ma'am, thank you, ma'am. Girl, I can say, excuse me, thank you. That's it. I don't have less respect for you because I'm not calling you ma'am or sir. I'm just not being a servant to you. I'm not being younger than you. My mom, my dad, my step-parents, whatever. I don't call them yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. Mama, thank you. Yeah, I'm polite. But why am I going to call a complete stranger? Yes, ma'am, yes, sir. No. Respectfully, honey, but no. Girl, that mean I'm not respectful. People call you sir and rob you. People call you ma'am and slap you or talk about you, rob you, leave out the room. Hello? I remember the one time these two gypsies, and I'm gonna be done, were trying to get a dent out of one of my cars, girl, when I had my Chrysler 300. And I got a dent in, and they were like, oh, we can get this dent out. We just need $50. Well, first they said $70. So then he took, mind you, y'all, it was just a little dent. Motherfucker drilled a hole, put a nail in it, and was trying to pull the dent out with a hammer. And of course, the bottom one came out, but the top one didn't. And then he said, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to go to my shop in Sacramento off of whatever street, and you're going to give $20, and he's going to fix this completely for you. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? I was like, wait a minute. You made this worse. And then they start speaking. And then he was all like, oh, my friend was saying I don't need to be flirting with you, girl. They were trying to like clock T and shit. My friend said I shouldn't be flirting with you because now he's calling me gay. And I was like, what does that mean? And then he was like, nothing. And I was like, that's exactly what I thought. And I walked back to my car. Bitch, I let them go ahead. Of course, I should have taken pictures of the license plate. I should have called the police and said, yeah, there's these two gypsy men out here ripping people off. That's what I should have fucking did. But let them get on their car. They went ahead and went. He said the name of the business. I was going to call the business and say, hey, you know, there's two people claiming to be connected to you, and they down here gaffling people for money. But, honey, that's what I get for falling for the dumb shit. Okay? That's what I fucking get. Okay. Anyway, let me make this phone call. Love and light. twospiritmystic.blogspot.com. Like I said, we'll be doing the video for the 24-hour video access starting June the 21st. Of course, you guys can sign up anytime, one time. It can be a monthly subscription, whatever. But 21st, we will be doing an event exclusively for the webcam access. And I'm excited. And those who are to sign up for it, I will be sending you an email kind of telling you the time frames, what you can do if you want to be a part of it, etc., etc. Okay? Do Roma people have any connection to the Roman Empire? You're saying like Romania? Because they got, of course, they got Rome, Italy. I think those people do. Romania, honey, if you talk about Romanian people, no, honey, these people are descendants of slaves. Not all. They're descendants of slaves, honey. These are working class people. These are travelers. Hello? Similar to the white folks that came to America. Travelers. They were exiled out of Europe and they came up here and do their little thing. Tell them they were explorers and shit. No, y'all got kicked the fuck out. That's why y'all willing to risk your life to go across those oceans like that. Miss me with the bullshit. Same thing with those Roman people, the Romanian people, honey. The gypsies, the one that be scamming, asking for money and shit, girl. They got so many body cams again. These people, girl, these were thieves. These are hoodlums. Respectfully, girl. They were thieves, they were hoodlums. Just like they doing now in America, they were doing that over there. Just like their government is doing over there right now too, girl. Robbing these people silly. They had this witch. She's the most powerful witch in Romania, girl. Talk about she get American and her phone was blowing up, girl. Living in a hole in the wall with dirt kitchen floor and shit. Had us thinking that that's what they live like in Rome. But they got nice, they got Romania, but they got nice places over there. But what the government was doing is they were holding certain people. They were basically robbing them for their money. Okay? Dang Romani were kicked out too. Mm-hmm. Traveling. That's why they call them gypsies. Mm-hmm. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. The Romani, honey, in the words of that Sukana bitch. Sukana. She knows exactly who she is. Sukana. Sukana Glory. Sukana Glory. She know the fuck she is, girl. Sitting here playing about dinosaurs and shit. I'm like, girl, how the fuck you tapped into spirits? None of y'all ever asked y'all spirits about dinosaurs and shit? Y'all never said, is dinosaurs real? Were there like really Tyrannosaurus and Tyrannosaurus and Ceratops and Ceratops that and this and that? Because you're looking at some of the dinosaurs and you're looking at the presidents and shit. They descendants of the fucking dinosaurs. They didn't go extinct, girl. That's why the Bible don't talk about them. The hell? That's why Bible don't say dinosaur shit, girl. Sitting there. Oh my God, yeah, she schooled you on dinosaurs. No, she didn't school me. She just proved to me that you're not really a spiritualist like you claim you are, girl. You're a book taught witch. You're not a real one, girl. I don't care what. Oh my descendants. I'm a descendant of a coven, girl. That's a group gathering. Respectfully, that's a group gathering, girl. You gonna sit here and say they married rich people, they married a rich man, and all that good stuff, girl, I can say it. But you gonna sit here and say, girl, they broke, they married a broke man just so they made connections because they did favors for people. Marie Laveau, the girl said she committed a crime, she was forgiven of that crime, and I'm like, yeah, because you got favors being done through the family. It's not money. It's not money, honey. That's why you don't have a silver spoon in your mouth or any of that. You're still a working class American, babe. A hard working class American, babe, because you were not born with that silver spoon. So yeah, how you got out is there was a favor that was passed down. We get out into the names of it too, Harold, because I can even describe the man that pulled the favor. And respectfully, girl, they still considered you the grandson. They did not say granddaughter. They said grandson still. Respectfully, honey. They refer to you as the grandson. And like I said, there's a male nickname that just popped up right now. And we get into that. Like I said, honey, that's how it was forgiven, girl. It was a favors being pulled. It wasn't a fucking money being paid. Oh, we got money. We had money. Girl, bye. Listen with the dumb shit. And you still in the brokest part of America. The economy is not the best over there right now. The part of America you're in. Girl, bye. Are the Nebuchadnezzars and the Nebuchadnezzars and the Philiums or no? No, they're not. Right. The dinosaurs are the reptilians, and they're a certain type of race of beings that we can call alien. When they keep saying alien, these are descendants of something that's not human. This is why they use alien as illegal immigrants. They call them aliens. And since we talk about aliens, they stop using the term alien when it comes to illegal immigrants. They say undocumented or not documented people. But they used to always say alien. Now they stopped. The aliens are the people who look like you, but they're not a part of your bloodline. And that's what the aliens are. They're not tall, gray haired people walking amongst the earth. Looking like that, they would die. This atmosphere is too different for them. They do die eventually, though. But they're not this weird looking thing, honey. They may have had a queen buried somewhere. There might be a queen kept in some type of historical building and shit, because that's why they put that in movies too. But you said it. Dinosaurs are reptilians, which is a form of aliens. There's a whole lineage of them, and this is record. This is recorded. So that's why I say when people sit here and they talk about aliens and it's gray and all that, I'm looking at these people like, are you human, babe? Are you even human? Because no shade. No one's that real obsessed with aliens, but people that might be an alien descendant, that might have that type of DNA in them. That's the only ones that are really obsessed with that. And that's what I was thinking too, because somebody told me a story before, and God forbid, oh my God, that's so sad. Somebody said they knew somebody who ate healthy, they knew somebody who exercised, did yoga, and they still passed away from certain ailments. And I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe they were trying to be human, and maybe that's what took them out. Maybe they had alien DNA, and of course we're just talking, y'all, as if, we're just giving theories. But I was like, maybe they had alien DNA, and that stuff wasn't working. Maybe they needed blood. Maybe they needed certain type of blood, and they weren't getting that certain type of blood, and so their bodies started to break down. And that's what happened. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's the only answer. Because I'm like, that doesn't make sense, girl. Like, it's not a lottery It is what it is. Your diet, your environment, all that makes your health. So it's like she's eating right, she's exercising, and she passed away young. And there's people that don't do that stuff and they still manage to be almost 100 years old. Some even manage to be 100. So it's like, no, it's human versus alien. And the whole glass, anyway, I'm not going to get into that, girl. The glass skin, and we need glass skin and shit, girl. I don't even get into that, honey. Uh, no. No, honey. The Nemicons did not give us necromancy. Necromancy came from some other beings. Okay. But listen, let me go, y'all. Let me call my friend. She gonna be mad. Could many humans be a part of amphibians? Definitely. Definitely. We have DNA of other things outside of just being human. Humans that are here right now, we can all say that safely. If you're a human being right now that survived COVID, you have something else in your DNA outside of just human DNA. We have the original man and we have duplications. Remember the angels and stuff came down and mated with the humans and created children. The bloodlines like Noah's and stuff, those bloodlines have been contaminated. These beings were like 40 feet tall. Noah and them wasn't no 5 feet, 5'11", 30. Remember, we had a great reset. Do you know that as little as a couple of thousand of years ago, I would say a little as a couple of hundred years ago, we wasn't living past 30 years old. We were not living past 30 years old. That is crazy to think about. We died before we got to a certain age. So definitely something else is here. Some people are a little more of those things though, right? They're a little more of those things. They're a little more of that. Some of us, we have these cells in us, but they're dormant, right? But we all have something, honey. That's why certain people get diseases and sick with some things, some people don't. Some people have unprotected things and they never contract the disease. And they've done a lot with a lot of people. No shade. So you're like, like you're lucky or you're not human? They had some people that allegedly said they reversed it before the medicine even came out. Like, and everything got to attack the blood. So what is it in the cells that they're attacking? Because anyway, I won't get into that. Let me go. Definitely. Yes, definitely, honey. Yes, definitely. And you need to be hydrated. Yeah. Anyway, let me go, y'all. Love and light. Thank you for chatting as always, Hather. Good seeing you. Take care. Love and light. And we'll be talking again soon, okay? Bye for now.